We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this special report.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know, my rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And I ain't gon' wish you such a full drug for your face. Shut up. Be the villain. And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.
Yeah! Let me talk to you. War game.
What's up, wrestling family? Welcome to the Heal the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network. This week in wrestling, we're talking some professional wrestling the week of. I got my co-host, the one and only PG, Chris, from San Juan, Puerto Rico, out of Pittsburgh. What's up, Chris? ¿Cómo está?
Está bien, brother. I'm good. I'm excited. It's been a long week. I'm excited. Talk some wrestling. This was a lot. I said last week, you guys are going to tune in this week to hear about all the crazy shows and all the good stuff that happened in this week's wrestling. So let's get into it. I'm really excited to talk about today. We got a lot. We got
Ethan in the chat. What's up, Ethan? I had to revamp my Twitch and all that stuff. I got a little bit of a no there, a little slap on the wrist there from Twitch. I guess they get offended when you show little MMA on their channel. So, you know, it is what it is. We got Nate Dogg is in the building. Yo. What up, Nate Dogg? Happy Sunday to everyone. Let's go. Wait a minute. I've got some facts about Speedball, Mike Bailey. We got all that and more. We got a full week of wrestling to talk about. We'll try to go as quick as possible. Snap in, get your drinks, get your snacks. Let's talk professional wrestling. It's the two-way talk here, or three-way, because me and Chris want to hear from you. We want to listen to what you got to say, debunking and behind what he got. When he got it. Let's go. We're definitely waiting to hear from you. Let's talk. Let's kick it off with Monday. It is the road to WrestleMania 41 continues. It is the Big Apple. Wrestling takes a bite at the Big Apple as Tony is in the chat. What afternoon, Mr. Tony? What's going on? Salute to you. We are at the Big Apple Monday Night Raw together. Then now forever, Madison Square Garden. We know the history of it. We got a main event, Jey Uso coming out, taking on Grayson Waller. You see the camera scene from Madison Square Garden. Jey Uso in his orange and black New York City Knicks colors for their city edition. He comes out, has a great match. Jey Uso gets the victory. Nice one there. I want to talk about where we'll go real quick on the card. And New Day versus LWO in that Texas Tornado match. I thought that was a really good match, Chris. Not much to add with let's go with those two. Not much to add with the Uso versus Waller. Just we knew that Waller wasn't going to beat Jey Uso.
Yeah, it's the road to WrestleMania. It's the road to WrestleMania. You know, you gotta make Jey look, hot going into, a big title match, biggest match of his singles career for sure. But I thought it was a good match. I like Grayson Waller. And it was just as simple as putting over Jey Uso, so his momentum's hot going into WrestleMania. Nothing really much to add to that.
Let me give your thoughts on that tag team tornado match. We know New Day, LWO, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. But the main thing that came out of it, a mask luchador comes out with American made. He said, he said gracias, and he puts him in, and New Day gets the victory. Who could that masked wrestler be? I mean, could it be Hulk Hogan again? Brother.
Oh my God! No, I liked Chad Gable. What up, Luther? I liked Chad Gable going out there and doing that. I think it was funny too because they interviewed him like a segment or two later, and he was like, "That wasn't me. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about." So that was really good. I really like the New Day being a heel. I want to see them as tag team champions too. I think that'd be really good for them as a heel tag team champion. We've never seen that with the New Day. I think they're the most entertaining duo on the show as far as tag teams going out there, cutting promos, having these filler quote-unquote matches. But I enjoyed it. Madison Square Garden, all the people in there were enjoying Rey Mysterio. I think it's great having him in these type of matches to, get the crowd going a little bit. And I think Chad Gable, I like Chad Gable staying with the luchadors. Apparently we saw it on SmackDown. I know we'll talk about that later or whatever it was, but like Rey Fenix supposedly did a little month. So maybe we see something with him, with all the luchadors coming in and just trying to go after Gable. But I like this match. It was really entertaining. Really entertaining. Man.
It was a very entertaining card. But to me, those two matches were really good. One thing that caught my eye was the Cody Rhodes comes out, cuts a promo. Cody Rhodes, what I got out of it was I heard dueling chants. Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. For on a Cody Rhodes segment where it kind of stopped Cody Rhodes in his tracks. Like, oh, damn. Madison Square Garden had 20,000 folks in attendance. I mean, my goodness, that was crowded, packed to the gills. New York City really was looking forward to Monday Night Raw at New York. Here's the question I want to ask this here. I love when he tells John Cena he's the captain now. Did that concern you, the dual chants, or you expect that from John Cena?
I expect that from John Cena, and I love it. It's giving me a little Rock versus Cena vibes where half of the crowd likes Cena and half of them don't. And I like it because I think us as, young adults who saw Cena in his younger days as like the Doctor, but like really didn't get to live it because we were only kids. And now that we're adults and we understand like the situation, I like it because it differs out. Like the kids are like Cena sucks, and like the diehard, like I like the mixed chants, because I think people wanted this for so long, a John Cena heel turn. There's guys like me who are gonna say let's go Cena if he's babyface or heel because you just love him that much. But it doesn't concern me personally. I love the mixed chants. It's not just everybody on one side, because you can easily cheer for Cena. But like people are invested in the story. People are actually invested in him aligning himself with the board of directors, and people hate him for it. So I like the passionate side. So it doesn't bother me. I love it. It gives me. It's bringing me back a little bit.
Hey, it's trying to get you there. Nothing brings people into the seats if you could talk people into the seats, and that's what this is doing. Especially John Cena not being seen 2 weeks after the heel turn. We're finally going to hear it tomorrow on Netflix on Monday Night Raw as we're recording this here on Sunday. But in a moment here, we'll move on to find out where that goes. In the number one contenders match, where this is when I had a lot to say the next day before we kicked off NXT Roadblock. I had a few words of choice say there, and I was expressing it with Terrence. Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel gets the victory over Bayley, but here's the one thing that concerns me: the non-reaction with the Madison Square Garden crowd for Raquel Rodriguez. Even Bayley couldn't get that crowd going. There were crickets for a 20,000 arena. A lot of folks were emotionally invested. I mentioned this to Terrence, and I'm going to rehash it again. I think WWE has done a disservice when it comes to the booking on Raquel. when she, especially to me, I pinpoint a specific spot when she wrestled Ronda Rousey on SmackDown. They should have pulled the trigger and allow her to beat Ronda Rousey, even if it was for a week, and then Ronda comes back and squashes her, because I think it would have gave her some credibility, her beating Ronda Rousey. Like, oh, damn, because she put on a hell of a match. She went over without going over, but then not giving her these victories. You know, losing to Rhea Ripley as well. Like, another bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to Raquel Rodriguez. And the way they booked her in NXT to the main roster, it's different. It's miles apart. I think they really need to find a way to check the boxes with Raquel. I understand she had that disease, that injury, you know, with the skin condition. That's not her fault. That's just what it is. But I think Raquel checks the box. 6 foot, tall lady, powerhouse. You know, could be marketable, either babyface or heel with the smile and so forth. I wish they could book her in another, and I think she's not bad on the promos. You could connect with her because she brings that Spanglish into her promos. Maybe I'm being biased, being Hispanic male, wants to see, but Bayley kicked it out of the park. Why not Raquel? That's just something for me that I wish they'll change when it comes to Raquel Rodriguez, her booking, because I believe in her, and I believe she could really be a face of a company, of a brand. Maybe the Intercontinental title, maybe they you know, maybe that's something that Lyra Valkyria's days might be numbered. Maybe they go in, they'll pull the trigger there. We'll see, but they have to make us invested. Maybe Raquel needs to go out there and give us a holy crap moment. When I mean a holy crap moment, do something despicable. You know, like do something where Lyra's injured out of her TV for a while. She takes the title, but she just injures her. Like, damn, you're really gonna despise Raquel? Or something with Liv where you're really going to feel sympathy, and where Liv does something so horrible that you can't force yourself but to love Raquel and get behind her so much. So I don't know how creative gets that, Chris, but something's got to give for Raquel Rodriguez in 2025.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping that this is the kind of the beginning of that, with her getting a shot at the Intercontinental title, with her actually winning it. She is one half of the women's tag team champions. And maybe her having a double champ Raquel around her will give her a little bit of cred. Her aligning herself with Dominic and Liv automatically makes. I'm surprised she's not getting a reaction. I understood her coming out there. WWE treated her like such a. They used her wrong, in my opinion. Like, I watched her in NXT Black and Gold. I watched it during that era. She could have been this, like you said, a powerhouse heel. I don't think she ever should have turned baby. Like, she was too smiley and kind of like what Willow is for AEW. Like, for a woman that size,
good comparison.
For a woman that size and that good in the ring, there's no need for them to be a baby. In my opinion, because they're so dominant, they could easily bully you. It's that's just my opinion on it. But I think I'm surprised her aligning herself with Dom and Liv isn't automatically drawing her heat. So yeah, I could agree on that. They could book her a little better. This was one step towards that. Her beating Bayley, who was hot Royal Rumble winner last year, lost the women's title. Now she's did a big program with NXT with Roxanne, all that. She had momentum, and Roxanne just killed it. So hopefully that's the beginning of the better booking you're talking about. Because I agree 100%. They could use her so much better. But we'll see. I think if she does win the Intercontinental title and she keeps aligning herself with Liv and Dom, but really her standing out, because Liv stands out. We know those two stand out. I think if she could stand out herself a little more, I think she could get good heat just by aligning herself with that group. So I think it could be good for her. So we'll see if she wins. If she wins, I think it'll be good. If she doesn't, then at least she got the opportunity, but she needs to win.
Absolutely. We'll see where that goes, because when they brought her out to be the bodyguard, help Liv get the title off of Rhea Ripley, that's where I needed Raquel to get the skyrocket, put the rocket onto her back, the way Kevin Nash, aka Diesel, for Shawn. They kind of miss on that disconnect there, but we'll see how it got that. Something that I think stand out, none other was that Michael Cole interview with Io Sky. She gets interrupted first by Bianca Belair, followed by Rhea Ripley. They get into their tussle. When I mean Bianca and Rhea. Rhea's telling Bianca she has more things to worry about with Jade and Naomi. And to the diminish of your world champion, they kind of mushed her twice. And Io, I love the fact that Io said, I had enough. She slaps the crap out of both the ladies. She slaps some taste into them. Teasing a triple threat between these ladies at WrestleMania, which we all thought about. It's not, sometimes predictability is okay. It's how you get to the predictability. And if this is a way how they got to the predictability where Io Sky says enough, I'm being overlooked because of my stature. I'm one of the best female wrestlers in this company. I'm for it, Chris.
Io showed some damn personality. I loved it. She slapped the shit out of both of them, excuse my language, and said, I'm the women's champion. This is under my terms. You guys have your issues. You guys can. I'm the champion, and I'm like I thought from the beginning it'd be ever since Bianca. Obviously no one saw Io Sky coming. I just thought Io Sky would be added to the match with Rhea as world champion. I didn't know this was going to be the way they were doing it, and I love it. I love it. Bianca and Rhea. I think people wanted to see that match anyway. And I think a lot of people wanted to see different types of this match, whether it was Io and Rhea, Rhea and Bianca, Bianca and Io. So we're getting a little bit of all of it, which I like. I don't mind. I know a lot of people don't like the multi-matches, triple threats, fatal four-ways. My thing has always been this: if you have the right people to do it, it works. I think this will work. And I think the build leading up to it, it's going to be good. I'm just curious to see how much Io would do. What else is she going to say? How much is she going to say? Is it just going to be Bianca and Rhea kind of doing most of the talking to each other? And rightfully so, right? What Io's women's champion. She really has nothing to say. She's just getting ready for defending it, whoever she has to. So I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I like it. I hope Rhea gets that title back at Mania. But I like this match. I like the segment. If that happens.
You said correctly there. You made the build. The build. It's all about the build. If you build it correctly, any triple threat or even fatal four-way, if it's done correctly, with storyline, emotional investment, it's gonna hit out of the park. Because you want to see, oh damn, we got all these different because they could get convoluted. They could get a little bit crazy. But if you do it correctly from the build, storyline wise, and I'm not going to doubt the ladies in the in-ring. Rhea, Bianca's like the tweener. She could wrestle. She's athletic. She could do the flips. She could do the stuff. Rhea's the powerhouse with the power moves. Io is the genius of the sky. You put it together on paper, it seems like a five lifesaver match. A banger. But we'll see how that goes there. Ethan, I'm going to highlight everything there when we get to the All Elite Wrestling spot. It's not that I'm ignoring your comments. Is right now it's gonna hit the subject perfect when we get to that. There you go. Io is not losing that title in WrestleMania. I think she's retaining. It possibly so, Tony. It's possibly so. We'll go to the main event, the steel cage match. CM Punk, Seth freaking Rollins, and some of the veterans in the wrestling industry is calling this one of the best cage match in wrestling history. Now, you could agree to disagree. We're not going to be here to debate it. You like what you like. Everyone watch wrestling with their own set of eye lenses and opinions. But this match here, I love the fact that throughout the night, they showed us the history of steel cage match in Madison Square Garden. Don Morocco, and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. You got, Bob Backlund and Snuka. You got so many different matches there. San Martino, Koloff. The list is on. They left out Bossman and Hulk Hogan, one of those famous ones that I was in attendance, and many other more. Your thoughts here? This match here, Rollins and Punk just shows that they hate each other. I love the fact the psychology was the cage is open. You want to be a pussy, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be one of those and leave, there's the door. And they both did it to one another, ribbing one another. The psychologically, you want to get past this feud, we're going to go fist, kicks, or you're going to make me say I quit. And these two guys, I mean, from how many, like 3 GTSs that Rollins kicked out, This is where the false finishes are used in a feud with a steel cage in a match. This is where you incorporate those false finishes in the psychology of the match, because these are two guys that don't want to get down, don't want their shoulders down for 3 seconds. This is two guys that don't want to say, I quit to your ass. I'm going to beat the living crap out of you. I want to destroy you. I want you so beaten and bludgeoned. I want you out of this company. And that's what the story they gave us in that steel cage match, Chris.
This was an outstanding match. This was one of the best Raw. This is the best match in the Raw Netflix era.
I agree.
One of the best matches in the Paul Levesque Raw era, period, in my opinion. This is an example of a steel cage match that doesn't need blood or weapons to make it brutal. They did a great job with the finish, with Roman Reigns coming out. I didn't expect that. I'll be honest. I didn't expect that with Roman Reigns coming out there. It's good because nobody loses clean. Nobody loses clean in that match. You saw Roman Reigns drag Seth Rollins out of the cage. No, and nobody. It's so good because now, if it wasn't obvious, now it is. We're getting the triple threat match. Punk and that moment with Heyman and Punk, people were like, "What's going on? Like, is Paul Heyman gonna align himself with CM Punk and the heel?" People thought that was going. I damn well know, Chef, if you're watching this, brother, you knew that. You thought that was gonna happen because I was watching it on the playback. I was with him too. I was like, but we see Roman Reigns going in there, attacking. We still don't know what that favor is. Now we're starting to get hints and somewhere we're gonna get close to that whenever it happens. But I'm excited. You know, I kind of expected Roman Reigns to come to MSG and Raw, but I didn't think he would, just because the steel cage match circumstances. But this was a great way to put him in. You saw the crowd on TV. You didn't see it. You saw like the crowd, like, what's the crowd going crazy for? You were kind of like, what's going on? And then you saw Roman go out. So this is one of the best match on the Raw era, Netflix era. Everything was right from the finish, the match, and when the triple threat match comes official, I think the crowd's gonna go crazy when they announce it. And
no, I like what you said about the crowd. WWE production with their camera angles, they kept a type shot where Roman was about to get that curve before Roman even came out, with Rollins back to the cage. All you see is that angle was Seth with his back, Punk looking at them, to two men standing with the referee, and out of nowhere you see someone pulling, like it be like that movie Dragging to Hell. They're gonna drag. Someone was dragging him to hell out of the cage. You know, the shots from WWE television or for Netflix, phenomenal. You did hear some OTC. I was like, I did say it on the stream. I think Roman's. I hear the OTC. Now, come on, let the moment breathe. But they still got me because they didn't show it. We're waiting for the. I guess we're so conditioned by Vince McMahon, waiting for the music to hit first, and then the wrestler comes out, which is kind of a little bit of a. All right, they'll get you a pop, but I like that it came through the crowd. It surprised us, and then not only that, once you think they surprised the stare, like you said. That shot when before the curb stomp to Roman on Seth Rollins on the stairs before the Stooges in the back broke it up, he looks in the ring and Paul Heyman consoling CM Punk. Roman's like, you got to be shitting me. You got to be kidding me. Excuse me for the language, but you got to be. Are you is this for real? Tell me. I'm just waiting for Booker T to come out and say, tell me he didn't just not do that. So I was like, it was a good moment. Remember, wrestling is about moment. It's about the moments that want you to watch the either pay-per-view, the live television event again. And that was a moment in wrestling history because they could always go back to that later in the storyline wise, because they put a moment so impactful and the way they shot it is going to be embedded in your mind. So when you watch wrestling and hear wrestling, that's what you want to remember, that kind of moment. Paul Heyman in having Punk in his bosom. Where there's a favor owed. And now, Rollins gets a victory. I wouldn't be surprised on Monday Night Raw, Rollins gets upset for getting that victory. I didn't want to beat CM Punk that way. I want to, Roman pulled me out and my feet touched. It keeps, like you said, it keeps that rivalry alive, where if they do it again, you're not like rolling your eyes. Here's a repeat match again. Why? Well, how does it make sense? It made sense because Roman interfered and caught a cheap victory from Punk and Rollins. All that stuff. Now, now Punk has an issue with Roman punching him at the end of the match. You're sticking your nose in my affair with Rollins. You have your own, so the storyline there brings them all these three men together, actually four men if you count Paul Heyman. And that's what it's about. That's how Monday Night Raw closes. You remember the last thing you remember, and you're remembering all that went down in that main event. What a way, again, you said it might have been the best main event, the best match in Monday Night Raw Netflix history. For now, it's a short history on Paul Levesque's Monday Night Raw booking era. You could be correct. We thought the Wyatt 6 entrance was a great main event, but they had a moment here on Monday Night Raw. But speaking about having a moment, I thought right now WWE Monday Night Raw said here is my main event, and NXT said hold my beer, is my turn now. NXT coming out from Roadblock, from Madison Square Garden, the theater at Madison Square Garden. This whole card, 5 matches, felt like a premium live event where I was waiting for, looking at my bank statement saying that I was charged $49.99 to watch this on the CW, because that's what this was. NXT Roadblock was Stand and Deliver prequel, because Stand and Deliver is coming up. I felt this one, Roadblock, should have been changed to Stand and Deliver, because that ain't Deliver. I mean, what a way to start it off. You see the shot to Madison Square Garden. You see the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier and Axiom entering, but all of a sudden, the Madison Square Garden, 5,000 people strong at the theater, at the Garden capacity crowd, hits off for the Hardy Boys making their grand entrance back on in the grace of the WWE fans, and that place was going to explode, Chris. I thought we had to build a new Madison Square Garden, and how loud that place was. It came across on television.
No, that they did an amazing thing starting this match off. A lot of people anticipated this being the main event, but they announced Giulia and Stephanie for the main event, but this was like, I'm happy they didn't put this in the end of the show. Like, this was perfect to start off. That crowd was already hot in the in the beginning of the show. They're at Madison Square Garden. Some of them are probably at Raw last night.
Yes.
They probably couldn't wait to see the Hardys, so give it to them right now while they're hot. But it was an excellent match, man. This match was phenomenal. I mean, the Hardys, ever since winning that TNA Tag Team title, have been performing at the highest, still at the high level. I mean, a lot of people thought they sank because of how bad their AEW run was. It was bad. It was bad. And they now they're who they're supposed to be. They're who they are. They're the freaking Hardys. Everyone probably came to see them specifically. No, Axiom and Frazier are phenomenal. They really are the best tag team currently in the world. In my opinion. They work so well together. For these four not having a match like this before, I'll talk a little bit about this for Sacrifice, because we've seen some of these TNA matches and WWE matches where most of them have been good. Some of them have been like, okay, like their chemistry isn't there, type of thing. Because they just don't work with each other like that. This was the opposite of that. These guys look like they've been working together forever. It looks like they give me a series of this match. Put a title versus title at Stand and Deliver. That's how much I want to see this again. And it was, people were questioning who was going to win. I think it was good having the Hardy Boys win, having them get a big win. TNA getting a big win on a big WWE show, again, makes them legit. And I think a lot of WWE fans probably wanted to tune in to Sacrifice because of this card. So really good stuff. And I loved how they opened this match. This was a great opening.
Yeah, because I like the fact that, look, when you had the four men in the ring, and here's what I like, how they got to the finish. They despite the misfire from Fraxiom, You know, they saw the drop kick where that's just veteran leadership. Jeff pulls in, and of course he gets hit with the drop kick into Matt, capitalized with a twist of fate, followed by a Jeff Swanton for that victory. That's a way of getting to the end of the match where neither team looked buried or squashed. It was a very compelling match there. You had everyone put out the hits from Whisper in the Wind to Side Effect to Delete. You know, you saw the Spanish Fly spot, all that stuff there for Axiom, Nathan Frazier. Do I want to see this again? Absolutely. That's what this, and like you said about which match could have been, we debate about this. Either way, any which way of the 5 matches tonight on NXT Roadblock could have been the main event easily. You could have made a case for any one of these being the main event. Anyone, even if there was no title implication like the following match when you had Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne Perez. But before they got to that match, you had a Jada Parker interview or segment with Mickie James telling her to go seize the opportunity and make a statement and stand and deliver. So Jada Parker getting the push by the Hall of Famer Mickie James, or soon to be Hall of Famer Mickie James. Interesting to see there. Go and capitalize.
I can't put Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame before Mickie James. No,
I mean that's a lot there, a lot on that statement. But 2 women who on the road of Hall of Fame, if their careers continue to be impressive, is, well, let me get this first from Samuel. Line. The fact that Fraxiom is the standard tag team of 2025 all wrestling companies with exposures to is wild to me, with them being on NXT even crazier. Samuel, you know what I said before Chris Bay got injured? I thought ABC, and I said it many times, my video says it, I thought ABC was the best tag team in all of professional wrestling. All across the professional wrestling, to me, was ABC. Not because Chris Bay got injured. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. I've said this. My videos are always there. I've been saying that. I've been covering TNA for years before they, when they were Impact, now into the again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I always said Chris Bay and the ABC and Ace Austin were the best tag team, and then followed by you had Fraxiom, or FTR, and so forth. Man, it sucks there with it. Let me get another one of the Hardys since we're on that subject before we jump into Jordynne Grace and Roxanne Perez. They said the Hardys will not wrestle anymore in NXT, so maybe we'll see them on Raw or SmackDown. We'll like to see Hardys versus the Profits. They won't wrestle anymore. That's a disconnect. I hope they do. I hope we see the Hardys more matches. Because I think the Performance Center here in Orlando want to see them. We want to see them. And I'm pretty sure. I hope the merchandises are selling off the rocket. If they're going to the main roster to represent TNA, I'm for that too, Tony. I'm all for that too. I think it boosts when you're married to the Undertaker. It helps too. Absolutely.
Samuel, we had this conversation the other day, and I said, Samuel's a good friend of mine. All
right, Samuel. All right. Welcome to the Hillman Podcast. Absolutely. We'll go into Jordynne Grace with Roxanne Perez. Let me go. Roxanne showcases her ability early, invading Jordynne Grace with targeting her knee. I love that the match, she kept working on the knee. How do you take a powerhouse? You attack a body part. I always told you that. Regaining the belt clap, inside out suplex, followed by a spine buster. Perez was relentless, working on Grace's left knee, locking in various submissions, striking, and that was the story of the match. Work on the knee, but Jordynne Grace fought through pain and countered with some monster German suplex on 2 body slams. However, her knee buckled on the attempt on the rope. I love that she remembered, sell, and when you're done, sell some more. And she showed that when she went on that turnbuckle in the middle rope, and she it wasn't a botch. It was part of the program, ladies and gentlemen. It was part of that her knees are compromised, giving credibility to Roxanne Perez as a worker to work on that body part on Jordynne Grace. That's what you want with wrestling. You want to sell, you leave the no sell for Wednesday nights. And of course, Jordynne landing a spinning back fist, rolling her into a Death Valley driver, finishing Roxanne Perez with the beast mode for the victory. Let me ask this question, hell of a great match. Was this Roxanne Perez final match in NXT?
It seems likely. She has maybe one. I think she'll stand and deliver. I think that's like the alt for her. I think they should give her go home show at stand and deliver for all she's done for that not just the women's division, for that freaking brand. I wasn't a big Roxanne guy at all. I couldn't stand her, but you got to give her. I love her now, and after realizing all she's done for NXT, so I think a good way to send her out would be it. She won me over.
She won you over.
I was not a fan of her at all. I could not stand her. I couldn't even stand to hear the name, but she won me over big time with her heel work. It was her going heel that sold. But this was a really good match. Like I said, Rox during, it's normal for like NXT talent to like not lose, but like put people over on the way out. Jordynne Grace is impressive, and I think the reason why this match was well put up together is because they had a good match together. I think was it last year at the Apex Arena in Vegas. They had a really good match where Roxanne went over. Now Jordynne Grace is a signed NXT talent, so she can go over now. There's no title, and I think this could lead to one last match at Stand Delivered. And then she finished the trilogy there. Boom, Roxanne goes into the main roster. Jordynne Grace gets elevated, and they push her after WrestleMania.
I can see that. I have no issues with that whatsoever. I just got one question for you. How could you not like that? How you gonna fight this cute face? Look how cute she is. Well, how could you not like her? She's so cute.
Back then, I just could. I always knew that. I could. So the
you just want to squeeze her cheeks.
I couldn't. That's why I couldn't. I'm like, nah. And she ain't gonna protect. If I need a girl to fight, she ain't gonna do it. Now she will. No, yeah, shout out Roxanne Perez. She'll get.
Well,
I think she should
that match was delivered. Shout out to Roxanne. I know she's gonna kill it on the main roster. I had the privilege of seeing her wrestle from NXT 2.0, seeing her winning the contract, the breakout tournament, cashing in with Cora for the tag team titles. That's another question. We know creative wise, but seeing her grow, seeing her turning into a heel, seeing her live and on house shows up and down Orlando, back and forth. It was a pleasure seeing her. That was her last match in the Performance Center or in Orlando. It was a pleasure seeing her grow for Roxanne Perez, someone who loved the business from a young girl, inspired, and got here. And it's been a pleasure seeing her. As much as I trust Triple H with the incredible job he's done, Black and Gold to this, I'm still skeptical Roxanne moving over. Only matches wouldn't save her sincerity for me. All right. A lot of people have that concern, Samuel. You're not the only one. There's people concerned with that. Bubba Ray Dudley had that concern, which got into some words with Booker T about it, but they cleared that up. But is there a right for you to feel that way? Absolutely. I think she's a star. I think she'll be fine in the main roster. I think she'll but it has to do with the crowd. You have to cheer her or boo her, whatever character she's working, you have to connect with Roxanne. And I think they've done a good job. Look at Tiffany Stratton, the way they showed them in Elimination Chamber, easing them in, not just coming in and go, who the hell is this? And all of a sudden, lucky to see Roxanne Perez Stand Deliver 2024 when I went to Mania. There you go. That was a good match that she put on Stand and Deliver. Indeed, there. Right before we go to the crossover hour at 9 o'clock, we had a segment right before commercial break where Oba Femi is making his way to the ring. We see Moose getting ready. Moose coming in, getting ready. And then the ruler stops and looks to his right, and none other but the dead man. In a moment where the dead man just stares, and you're like, oh, whoa. And he says, protect your yard. And he gives him a fist pound.
Yeah.
To me, that was dope. That was a lot of significance there.
Yeah, I liked it.
Wow.
I liked it. It gives Oba Femi a pep talk for his big match. Samuel Line in the chat, and he's gonna like when we talk about the next one because he lives in Nigeria, and these guys are both Nigerian. So, Samuel, we're getting ready to talk about that match for you, bud. But no, this was good. I like, we all know LFG's taping matches before the show, or so we'll see. Maybe we see this again, but I probably not. But I like Undertaker praising the young talent, and it's not just Undertaker. I like when Mickey James did it with Parker. I like when they all come back here, like when Cena did it last year. I like when they do that. It's cool.
Yes. So we come back here. We get the WWE NXT title. That, of course, Moose is your TNA X Division champion. All right, the about was about to begin. You have that fierce exchange of strikes in the middle of the ring, with Femi overpowering Moose early. Moose fighting back, hitting a urge slam and a senton splash from a near fall finish. The two traded powerhouse moves, with Femi countering a crossbody attempt with a brutal European uppercut. Moose shifted the momentum with a suplex, but Femi answers with a clothesline of his own. After a chaotic sequence outside the ring, Moose delivers another monster slam through the announced table, followed by a spear for a dramatic 2 kick out. Femi, however, counters with a pump kick and into the fall of grace. To me, I thought Moose went over without not going over. He did not look like no chump. There's two guys. And I love the fact after he was pinned for the 1, 2, 3, Chris, he looked at Femi like, we ain't done. We got to run this back. You just beat me, man. You just got the best out of me here. I'm going to watch film. I'm going to scout you again, because next time I'm not going to fall with that sequence for you to fall from grace. I'm going to try something different. That's what I perceived. And just on a look, guys. And maybe that's the fan in me or the mark in me, you want to say, whatever the case is. I need to see these men go at it again.
Yes, absolutely. They're gonna have a longer match. I'm not gonna shit on these guys. This is an amazing match. Two big dudes. They're not just big guys who can wrestle. They're freak athletes. No, exactly. These guys can do some crazy stuff for their stuff. They're gonna have a longer match next time. I agree with Kev. I think they're gonna get this match. They're gonna run this match again. I don't know where, I don't know when, but they're gonna run this match again. I had the feeling Femi was gonna retain his title, but I'm not gonna say this is a surprise to me, because we watch TNA every week, and that's actually the only show that I actually watched fully this week is TNA, because I love it so much. And we see Femi on NXT. This is an example of the two companies knowing how to work together. Two great athletes knowing how to work together, despite not really working with each other, never working with each other at all. They did a great job building the match. It made you want to watch NXT and TNA, because Oba would talk about, or Moose would talk about Oba. Oba was doing matches with the Hardy Boys, 6-man against the system. So I enjoyed this match. I hope we get it again. And I think it'll be a little longer match. I think we can get a little longer match, because they've done it before with other people. Like Moose did with Hardy at TNA, and that match was long. So these two can have great matches. And I think, yeah.
I wanted to add to that, Chris, because you said about the length, and I said as well. If this was a premium live event, that stare down in the beginning of the match would have went for at least about 3 minutes. About just them staring and looking at each other, I think the crowd would have been popping and saying this was awesome. But since they were on the CW, they only have a 2-hour or a real hard 2-hour. We couldn't really feel that it still had a lot of atmosphere and a lot of tension. But I think it would have built even bigger. I'm not trying to put it the same level as Hogan and Rock. I'm not, because these guys got a long way to go. I get that. But in that kind of area, like, oh, damn, these two guys are just staring at each other like, like, oh, let's go. They didn't even, if they had more time, they could have went easily 2 minutes to 3 just without locking up, just staring at each other, the stare down. It would have been so much more greater, but I understand why they didn't go there. But all in all, it doesn't take away from these two men. Moose shows us how it belongs. By the way, Moose's robe, class. Oh, my goodness, that robe was phenomenal. Moose, it looks like $1 million. He belongs, superstar, the face of the franchise for TNA. Yes, indeed. I just hope he stays with TNA. I hope he doesn't get poached. And I know you can say, oh, he'll be great in WWE. Absolutely, he'll be great. I still would like him to be representing TNA, but allow him to wrestle in WWE matches too. If they go on a European tour, allow Moose to go representing TNA for the WWE. I kind of want him to stay kind of face of the franchise with TNA, because he fits, he is. But I want to be I want to have my cake and eat it too, and see him in WWE programming too with some matches. I would love to see that. And the rematch, where could that rematch be? Personally, I'm going to say this personally. Where would I would like to see that rematch? To be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Stand Deliver. It's Slammiversary in the UBS Arena. Yes, I know. Oh, this is just Kevin being BX because he's from New York. I know this is BX Kevin from New York. I want to see it in the UBS arena. Over Femi and Moose, you know, whatever title is available, whatever TNA title or whatever WWE title, I just need to see them both in the UBS arena for some type of something. Give me take my money. I want to see it.
That'd be great. Why not have a rematch right down the street where you had your first match?
Absolutely. And Tony says the TNA WWE collaboration has been such a success that should open the doors for more promotion working with each other. When it's done correct, it is done correct. And you got to give TNA and WWE a lot of credit for working together. In a match here, we'll move on here. We'll see what's next here. We saw some segments of Soruka. Chelsea Green was being announced. Soruka will challenge the WWE United States Champion next week in Orlando, upcoming Tuesday, in a performance center. Chelsea Green was in España. Now she's flying back to Orlando. Then she's scheduled to go back over to Italia.
Really?
So a lot of frequent flyer miles, yes, for Chelsea Green. And Matt Cardona was in Ontario, Canada, and Whistler too last night from Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. So the Cardonas are flying and they're racking up frequent flyer miles. That's talk about living off of a suitcase. So those kudos to them. And then we have
Chelsea. God.
Yes. Fallon Henley demanding a rematch. She's calling out Ava for ducking her, setting her aside. She wants a match. Ethan Page making his presence known by taking shots at Ricky Saints. We saw Ricky Saints says they don't like newcomers, outsiders here. So get lost. Speaking, Ethan Page feels like he's WWE now, Mr. WWE. He's got the underwears and everything to show for it. So we get the match. Ethan Page, Javon Evans in a New York City street fight. New York City street fight. I've seen a lot of New York City street fights. I've been in New York City street fight. That wasn't New York City street fight. That was a wrestling match, but still, I digress. The match was equipped with an all-out brawl. Javon Evans showcasing his high-flying abilities, landing a suicide dive and a handspring corkscrew kick. Page counters it with a gut punch and uses the steel chairs to his advantage. Evans retaining with a Hurricane Rana onto a chair with a Blue Thunder Bomb. Almost had a near fall finish. The action continued to go back and forth. Evans delivering a high cutter through the table spot. That was awesome. Page, however, countered it with All Eagle's edge, but he couldn't put Javon away. He kept slipping out. And, of course, Evans regains control with a twist of fate on the chair, followed by a springboard cutter for the victory, where I know in the words of Chef Dan, he says he killed Ethan. And it looked like he kind of destroyed him, but what a way to finish a feud. That's the end of the feud. Every match, I've said it before, I was saying it when we went on the air for Evolve. I said every match in Stand Deliver felt like you could have a rematch. Yes, I want to see it, except for this one. And it wasn't because it was terrible. This was very entertaining. It ended a storyline. It stopped. That's it. That feud is over between Ethan and Javon Evans. Your thoughts? Do you want to see that? I think it's over.
Yeah, I think it's over, especially with the finish, because we saw it all started where Ethan Page broke Javon Evans' jaw, and if you see the finish, and you know how Ethan Page is in the chair and his jaw, and 1, 2, 3, that's really the payback. Javon Evans ultimately got his payback. So I don't think there has to be another match. I can't believe Javon Evans is only 20 years old. He's gonna be phenomenal when he's 25. Some of the spots, his cutter is so damn high. He goes so high on the rope when he does his cutter. He runs the ropes really good and fast. I enjoyed this match. This match was incredible. Ethan Page, I want to see what's next with Ethan Page. Call it what you want. He's a veteran. He had a great run in Impact Wrestling. He's been with AEW. He's a veteran. He's not. So this was good. This was good because if you give Javon Evans and me out of all people, I hate doing this, but if you gave him somebody like a Darby Allin, they would have just like in this type of match, it'd be like a mess, like a mess. Like with a veteran like Ethan Page, he's not going to do stuff like that. They're going to have it look like real and not too much with the weapons and the blood. But this made sense, however, because Javon Evans had to get his payback for breaking his
because there was a story. Sorry to interrupt you. There was a story behind it, Chris.
Yeah, breaking his jaw with weapons. So
exactly.
it made sense. He got his revenge. Exactly. So I love it.
It was a story.
Javon Evans is great. He has a great future. He's only 20 years old. I don't know why these mystery guys attacked him. I don't know why. What was the point of that?
They're attacking him because they're trying to make a statement because Javon Evans is young and he didn't go through the level up. I keep calling them the level up left behind because all these wrestlers, if you know their identity, they were all level up and they got left behind, went left, level up, left. And they're just they're trying to make a name and say you overuse. Meanwhile, Javon didn't have to go through level up. He was elevated immediately. He got up the rankings because Javon Evans put in the work. And that's why they keep attacking talent like Javon, who just didn't get left behind with once level up went off the air. That's just my opinion or my thought of it. Because if you look at it storyline-wise, we haven't heard a mission statement from these four gentlemen, who they are, what's their purpose of going out there and causing havoc and interrupting. And I had something to say about Ethan Page. I mentioned it before. If you heard me before, this is sounding redundant, or I've been repeating it all week. I think Ethan Page should be done with NXT right now. He should be the third member of the Rock's group with John Cena, because he could go in there and take the pins, get the comeuppance. I know, Tony, you mentioned Carmelo Hayes, and Carmelo Hayes makes a good candidate. But I think Ethan Page, when The Rock or Cena is not on television, Ethan Page could go out there and cut promos. He is the villain. He knows how to get people to dislike him. You're despicable. I think Carmelo Hayes is okay, but I don't want to see Melo taking pins or getting beat because he doesn't generate that heat with his microphone skills just yet. He's awfully young. It won't hurt Ethan Page if he takes some loss, because Ethan could still get on the microphone and get you with his words. You don't remember he got his ass kicked or beat so many times. You'll remember when he talks to someone to get you like, I can't stand him. Go get that guy and make him suck through a straw. That's his character development when it comes to Ethan Page. I think he will benefit with The Rock and John Cena aligning themselves there because he's the face. Again, when you have a group of multitude of 3 or 4, you need guys to take some pins, to take the losses, because you're protecting John Cena right now in his final run. The Rock doesn't wrestle much, or he's going to wrestle occasionally. You still need some, and I still, some other men underneath, on the underneath part, the underbelly, to take the pins and losses. It could be either Ethan Page or Melo. I don't think Ethan has done everything already in NXT in a short time. He's been champion. He's been on some feuds. He's gotten talents over like Javon Evans, Trick Williams over. He's done his service with NXT. And if they keep him there, I don't want him to feel like he's being there left too long. What's next for Ethan? What's really next for Ethan? Be honest with you. There is no babyface that he needs to put over it right now. Maybe because right now Nathan Frazier's part of a tag team. There's not enough babyface for him to put over yet, Chris. So I think Ethan Page, a main roster run. We already had the interaction with The Rock slapping him on his ass on New Year's Evil. So there is some kind of interaction where he says, I went down to NXT. This guy caught my eye, and he has history with Cody Rhodes.
Perfect.
Well, they should level up then. It's much more than let down. But if you need a real heat, Ethan might be the guy. The Rock had the momentum. Yeah, at the moment. Yeah, exactly, Samuel. Exactly. I'm not saying they go that route. I would like to see that route for Ethan Page. It checks the box. Ethan doesn't have to stay in NXT, and he's on the main roster. He'll talk. He'll get people. Look, give him a couple minutes on the microphone. You'll hate him, because I don't think Grayson Waller fits that bill. But right now, what hurts Grayson Waller, you only remember him with Theory losing. And that's what I don't want with Carmelo Hayes. Ethan could get you there, but for Grayson, it doesn't fit with The Rock right now. Ethan does, because he already had that interaction. So we'll see how that goes with that there. We'll move on. Here we get an interview segment with Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe talking to the New York City crowd, talking a lot of nonsense. But here's one thing I love to see was Trick Williams coming from the crowd, and boy, he whooped that trick all over New York City, Chris. Oh, I'm ready to see some more. That was great. And then we get to the final match of the night. Winner takes all. NXT Women's North American Champion, NXT Women's Champion. Both champions displayed their brilliance and technical dominance, countering each other's signature moves. Giulia gaining the control with the missile dropkick, but Vaquer responds with a head scissors takedown. Giulia executing the hangman neckbreaker off the apron and to a lock with the rings of Saturn. Vaquer fighting back with a series of super kicks and dragon screw leg whips. After an intense back and forth with these ladies, Vaquer nails the two SVP to secure the victory and unify the titles, to the delight of Booker T when she did the head trounce to that move that she puts the leg in there, and Booker T on video gone viral, him moaning and groaning in New York City. But what a match. And I thought, look, when we looked at the time, we're like, I don't know if they're going to have enough time. I don't know if they're going to have enough time. Are they going to have enough time? And they delivered. Were you shocked with the victory?
No, I wasn't shocked with the victory at all. And it's not even because of the rumors or whatever that people are saying that Giulia's hurt or she needs time off. Stephanie, I really think I thought from the beginning that Stephanie was going to get the bigger push. I thought I was wrong because they pushed Giulia first, but I ultimately think Stephanie is the next face of that women's division, kind of like how Roxanne was for that long time. Now, I'm not a big fan of this women take-all match. I don't like the stipulation. I love the match. Okay. The match was freaking incredible. The match was incredible, and I love they built it up. They did good. But what are they gonna do for the NXT North American title? I wonder. Is she gonna do like a Becky and like be in feuds with two different women? Is she gonna drop one title and then do a pointless tournament for the North American title? I don't know what's next for that, and I don't like that because, again, it's gonna happen. We all gotta be patient, but you could have given that match to somebody else. You could have given, or you didn't even have to give Stephanie the North American title if you knew you were gonna have this match in March at Roadblock. I think they gave this to us too soon. And if the reports are true, rumors are true, Giulia has an injury, she needs time off. Okay, I still don't think you had to build this up right away and give us the match right away. That's me personally, because now it drives questions within the women's division that's so hot and that's everyone loves so much. But now, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe they're going to do a great job of seeing who's next in line, who takes the North American title. I believe that North American title should go off Stephanie. Have her have the women's title. I'm curious to see how that's going to play. That's I'm not saying I don't know what they're going to do, and I'm not saying this is I like it, but I want to know what they're going to do. I just hope it's not some BS tournament or anything like that. I hope somebody like Jada takes it off right away or something. It doesn't have to build up. Just they don't have to have a build up. Just somebody take it.
All right. Here's what I got to say. This is Stephanie Vaquer, first female wrestler to hold two titles or two belts since Becky Lynch. But the last wrestler in the WWE to hold two titles was Braun Breaker, and when he won both NXT UK and NXT World title back at Worlds Collide. That was the last double champion in the WWE. They merged the two titles that was taken away, and also last two title holder was Mandy Rose. They didn't want to give Mandy Rose her credit. The last female was Mandy Rose because she also merged. Yeah. That's why I brought Braun Breaker first.
I didn't realize that.
They didn't want to mention Mandy Rose's unification of the two titles on Stand Deliver, which I was there in person with Terrence and my wife. We were there in the Performance Center for Worlds Collide. I don't think Giulia's injured. I think what we saw, she moved extremely well. If it is something minor, because WWE has not stated the fact that she's injured, not injured. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I said it on Wednesday night. I think this is a match where I think Giulia is going to take on Mika Saramura, possibly either in Stand and Deliver or in Marigold, because Mika's retiring at the end of the year. Mika's been up and down the United States, back in the Performance Center. She was in Roadblock backstage. She was at House of Glory last night. So Mika's in the United States. Wouldn't be surprised if Mika Saramona, where Giulia comes out a little disappointed and Mika keep your chin up and they leave into a match where it's going to be Mika's swan song goodbye to the WWE or to the World Professional Wrestling in the United States against Giulia, kind of passing the torch, where if Mika goes up and wins, you're not convoluting the NXT Women's title with Mika winning and then she's the champion and she's retiring. What's going to happen? So I think, to me, that's where it's going. I think they're going that route. Now, why do they gave that to Stephanie Vaquer, the title? Don't know. They could have ended in disqualification. I thought Fatal Influence was going to come out and interfere in this match, causing something. Or Jada Parker. It was going to get a little bit wanky. I'm glad that they let the women wrestle one-on-one. And, of course, and let that, despite the fact, win or not, where we got to the win. For Stephanie, you could tell she's a superstar sensation that the WWE also not making her regret the fact that she picked the WWE over staying at All Elite Wrestling. So I think that's another route that they went there. We'll see where it goes. Tuesday night is going to be really fun, really exciting as we move on to Wednesday night. What's the theme all across professional wrestling was tournaments and luchadors. So this is the Dynamite aftermath of Revolution, the post-Revolution show. We have Kenny Omega kicking things off. We're hearing a familiar sound of Kenny Omega's theme music. He comes out to a brand new AEW International, excuse me, because they changed things up. Championship to kick off the week. Omega says he's still a dream to him. He couldn't believe that he's still early 2025 and he doesn't know what's going to happen. He loves the love and support from his fans. What's your thoughts of Kenny Omega coming out, kicking off the show? Right move? I think that was the right person to put off.
Yeah. I always like when Kenny starts off the show. It was a generic babyface promo by Kenny Omega. Introducing the tournament and winner gets a shot at Dynasty. Dynasty is in Philadelphia, right down the road. But it's at a horrible location. But I think it's good to start off. The only problem is whoever wins that tournament is not beating Kenny.
Let's talk about that. Let me ask you this.
We know that.
Let me ask you this as a person that follows this and enjoys the product. Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Let me ask this, though. We're adding a tournament here for this title, and we don't know that it looks like it's leaning for Okada and Omega. But is this lazy booking? Like, I'm not going to do anything. I don't really want to do storylines, and I'm just going to do a tournament so people can watch and see, tournaments, because they're going to put on great matches. So you think it's lazy booking?
Yeah, I think it's lazy booking, and there's no reason to have a tournament right before the Owen Hart Cup.
And I was going to get to that. I was going to get to that too, because you already announced a tournament. People are excited. That's why I have
the issue. It's because it's right before the Owen Hart Cup, and it's just another tournament back to back. That's lazy booking.
And then here's the thing: you didn't let this tournament breathe, because even if you got excited for an announcement of this tournament, oh man, it's the tournament. We're gonna get some good wrestlers because they put out good tournament. It's not even 24 hours, not even an hour later, you're announcing another tournament for the Owen Hart Cup. You're like, again, and then New Japan has a tournament going on too. So you're like, what the? And that's why I kind of hate this, because WWE hope they don't fall in the pigeonhole for that North American title, women's North American title, and putting a tournament, because it's like, no, I don't want to. The other company is doing it. I'm like, we'll find out there. We'll continue with the Dynamite. The first match, you had Samoa Joe, Hook, Shibata taking on the great Vinny Pacifico, Eli Thesis, and Gabriel Arias. Who the fuck are these other three guys? Excuse my language.
It was a squash match. It was a squash match, and this is going to lead to Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata getting the trios tag team, which no one gives a shit.
Let me say shout out to Isaac. Isaac, man, we missed you on the play. We need you. You need you to come out to the playback, Isaac. We actually show that we haven't been seeing the wrestling watch-alongs on YouTube because we're on the playback where we actually show the events while it's happening. I know you've been a big supporter and of course of us here on the Sports Jedi Network for wrestling. We'll love you to join us on the playback. Right there, you see playback /Heal the Ring, and the description is in the video. We definitely want to see you there. There we go, Tony. The only reason why AEW does tournaments is because they don't know how to book or tell stories. Absolutely, exactly to that. There, hey, we got another big announcement regarding an upcoming street fight at AEW Dynasty. Backstage, Ricochet talks about getting screwed at Revolution, but he says his request for the gold isn't over. He doesn't want it. That stupid robe, anyways. He don't give a crap. But that title Ken Omega has is pretty. So Ricochet wants to throw his name at that title. Are you invested in Ricochet? It looks like he might win that tournament, though. They telegraph.
Yeah. So, first off, I didn't. Oh my God, with Ricochet, I'm not that invested in Ricochet. With Swerve, I like how he mentions like he became the first Black AEW World Champion in last year's Dynasty, and he wants to do it again this year. Cool, that was good. Ricochet, I just can't get behind the corny. He uses his heel lines to feed into the IWC. Like Ricochet is like he's involved in the IWC. Like him and Samantha are always arguing with fans on Twitter. Like that's not why I think he's like whatever. Like he just feeds it. Like he's not doing anything that is like graphing to like an audience. Like he's literally talking to the IWC marks in his promos. Like, oh, you guys hate me. You guys, no, you're not talking to the audience. You're not talking to the TV audience. Like he caters to the IWC crowd, who him and Samantha Irvin go back and forth with. I just think he's boring. I never had an interaction with Ricochet. I never said anything bad about him. I simply think he's boring. I don't think he's not good as a babyface or a heel on the mic. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He can do great moves. I simply think he's boring on the mic. He says, when the hell has this guy been an Eagles fan? Why is he wearing an Eagles hat in Sacramento or in Los Angeles? Nobody in California gives a crap about the Eagles. Wear an Eagles hat when you're in Dallas, or wear an Eagles hat when you're in New York or DC. Like why? Like you're not generating heat wearing that ugly ass big Eagles hat. Like I can't get behind it. I can't.
That was in Los Angeles. That was in LA, right?
Yeah,
that was in LA when he did that. Why didn't you just come out with the Dodgers?
He did it in San Diego. He did it in San Diego.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come out with the Dodgers. Dodgers and the Padres have rivalry. They have. Yeah. That's him not being in. It's not him being in touch or researching. It's just someone and someone who's in the back was a goofball to give him that instead of giving him I'm pretty sure there's a lot of sporting stores. Yeah, exactly. Get him a Dodgers, who the San Diego, or even the Chargers. Like, say, your city sucks so much that the team had to move to Los Angeles.
I was just gonna say that. Like, yeah, like
those are little minor screws, nitpicking stuff that I think will help Ricochet overcome some of the stereotype and stigma or stalemate that he has.
It helps everybody.
Yeah.
Even like when you're in a sports city, like. You like when Xavier, like I think the crowd, like for example, like I know this might be so like, oh, it's a cheap pop. No, like I remember a couple weeks ago when they were WWE Raw was in Cincinnati. It was like right before the Rumble or something, or Cleveland or some shit, and they were like, the crowd was dead silent for the New Day. Like not dead silent, but like okay, like we've seen this. You're gonna come. As soon as Xavier Woods mentioned, yeah, your whack ass city. That's why Myles Garrett requested a trade and wants to get out of here. He re-signed. But at that point, like the crowd got back in and was like, boo! Like just little stuff like that will get reactions and will make me be like, damn, he's getting heat. You know what I mean? People might call it basic and cheap heat, but it works. Especially when you're in a big city like California, where every single block there's an arena, there's a stadium, there's a ballpark, something.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. We move on here. See what kind of street fight it cleared for that. Of course. In something that didn't make sense, this whole card didn't make sense. If you're a wrestling fan or casual, whatever the case is, you had the Mass Luchador Hologram and Powerhouse Hobbs teaming up against Brian Cage and Dralistico. Am I missing something? Are they friends? Are they together? When did the Hologram and Powerhouse cross path? And isn't Brian Cage already have a tag team partner with Lance Archer? So what is this here? Was there something implication? What was the purpose of them getting together? Did he just randomly select this? Did the computer and fight forever?
My personal opinion, it was a random tag team match just to get Hobbs a win in Hologram. I don't know. Like it was some good action, but they don't know how to use Hobbs. And we say it every week. This was bad. This was bad.
It was like an FU. I'm gonna make you guys. But it felt like, it's like it didn't. Okay. It's like, let me see. Hologram hits his music. He comes out high flying for the next match in the evening. Then all of a sudden, Harley Tits comes out with a hologram mask. So she put her tits together and she puts the hologram mask up. So now now you're ruining her career. You got her from reaching up into the puppet, giving hand jobs to the puppet. Now she's putting on a mask. So I don't know what the hell's going on with this AEW company. And now she comes out and she wants to be on the hologram now. Hologram, showing them. Come on, man. What the hell?
Yeah, she's Harley.
What is this? It sucks because the dual murder machine, the Murder Hawk Lance Archer comes out, and the Beast Mortals, and then all this thing gets convoluted. What the hell is this? What's going on? Hologram and Potch wins in a match that made no sense. If you're gonna have Lance Archer come out, just team him up with his original tag team partner and call it a day, and have the Web Your Doors team up together. I mean, it just didn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, Chris. And that's not the first. That's not the first of many luchadors mix up and like what? I mean, make your head scratch. I mean, oh my God, Samuel and Tony says he's in the weeds. This is old man Vince bad. He's in the weeds. He probably he's smoking it. That's what it looks like when he's doing this. All right, so MVP gives the Hurt Syndicate the night off. Wow. Mr. Charisma, Sheldon Benjamin is off tonight. And the charismatic Bobby Lashley not going to be on the microphone. Oh, I'm excited. Thank goodness. Jesus Christ. We go get backstage. Alicia Atuz got word from the Hurt Syndicate after Revolution. Sheldon knows that he's off. He gets the night off. But MJF now. Is this something? Now we're going to get MJF with MVP. MVP comes out. There is a lot of history between these two. I'm glad that they're giving the history between these two people. Let me ask you this. When he gets approached with him, he gives him the card. MJF, does he fit with the Hurt Syndicate?
That's a... I don't... No. No, I like what the Hart Syndicate has going on with Bobby and I don't think MJF needs to be associated.
I wouldn't mind it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I wouldn't mind it either. I wouldn't mind it either. But watch in the beginning of AEW when MJF was in I think it was
the Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle. Thank you. And I just didn't. He stands out too much, in my opinion, to be with a bunch of people. But it just because like MVP stands out too much, right? He's the talker. There's too many guys that stand.
Here's the one thing: if MJF aligns himself with the Hurt Syndicate, you cannot bring Cedric because now you're becoming too long. If Cedric is going to AEW, then MJF doesn't belong on that group. Mm-hmm. Then now you're adding too much. If I wouldn't mind MJF, but MVP cannot be a performer, in-ring performer.
Ooh.
He cannot be in-ring performer. He has to be a manager. Then I could. I'm all for MJF with them being part of that group. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. You know how it is. Some of these guys, they say they're gonna be going there to be managers or help with the booking or help with the ticket sales, the promotion, and they end up being slap nuts in the ring. So I don't know. You know, I don't know what happens in that company. We'll find out what happens there with MJF and MVP. We definitely will find out. We have a timeless Tony Storm. We get a reaction with a Hollywood ending. It shows a footage of her entire rivalry with her Mariah May and a bloody ending at the Hollywood ending of Revolution, which we saw Storm winning and retaining the AEW World Title. And Storm says, with stitches in her lips, staples in her head, and glass in her ass. And I stand before you to tell you that the tramp is still the champ. I'm not for nothing. Pretty good line. I think this is where Janine Peppermill is doing her job as a creative writer, finally, because I think Toni Storm is doing good work, best work of her career there. This past Sunday at Revolution was her Hollywood ending, and a chunk of her heart is gone forever. And that means it was well worth it. And it's time for new beginnings in her honor to be the AEW Women's Champion. All of a sudden, get Megan Bayne attacking Toni Storm from behind, poses and lays her out on the stage. And Megan Bayne, another one, who's showing a lot of cleavage and a lot of heart. What's your thoughts of Megan Bayne? She's presented well, but who is she?
That's a good question. A lot of people know her from like Stardom, from Japan, or whatever it was. I'm not too familiar with Megan Bayne. I'll keep it 100% honest. But she has good size. She's tall. She has good size. She's tall. Maybe this, according to Tony Schiavone, she's undefeated. So she'll probably get a title shot just because of that. There's no real build.
And how are you supposed to get invested in Megan Bayne? Tell me who she is. Tell me why she's why she is on Elite Wrestling. Why is she bored of Stardom? She's too. Or who is she? Build her up. Don't know who she is, but she's taking on Toni Storm. So are we expecting her to beat Toni Storm? If the match happened tomorrow, I don't know. We'll find out. That's another disconnect that this company continues to have. And how do you, if you're casual and watching or wants to give it a shot, you can't get invested because of lack of. Tell me, who is this Megan Bayne? Who is she? Here we go. My thoughts on Megan Bayne. Who is she? Don't tell me to Google it. Show me what happens to her. What happened to video package interviews? Exactly. She doesn't even want to talk. She's she doesn't know how to talk. She's mute. She's deaf. I don't know. Does she have a cock in her mouth? I don't know. What's going on? To talk. Give us something. Give us something. I don't get it. I don't get it with Megan Bayne. I know WWE guys wanted her. NXT wanted Megan Bayne. And I was like, okay, I don't know anything about her. Yeah, sign her for NXT. Shawn Michaels, make it happen. Many people wanted her in WWE. I was like, she looks the part. She's gorgeous. She's big. She's tall. Let's go. But tell me about her. I don't know her ring. She got an F5. So does Zarya. And what's Zarya doing right now for NXT? That's my point. Crickets. So we'll find out when it happens to her. There we have the first AEW International Championship Tournament Series. The Beasts, Mortos, taking on the Wild Card. The Wild Card, ladies and gentlemen. This is copy, paste, repeat, repeat, and rinse from Tony Khan. We have a Wild Card. That means we're getting a new debut. The charismatic, the most talked about Mike Speedball Bailey, the game changer. Your thoughts?
This is when I tell you. Okay, first I'm going to say this. Phenomenal talent. I loved him and Ospreay's match at Bound for Glory in 2023. And I love his style because it's a mixture of Taekwondo and professional wrestling. This guy's not going to do anything more than that. He ain't gonna go. He ain't known for cutting promos. He ain't known for telling stories. He's known for doing the flips and the kicks. So it fits AEW good. He's not a game changer. I personally, his death matches were good, yeah, but he is going to put great matches. That's all he's going to be used for. He's going to be he'll be in Collision in 2 weeks, having matches against Daniel Garcia, Hologram, Orange Cassidy. He's not going to do anything meaningful in AEW. At least when Ricochet,
he's not going to move the needle.
No, at least Ricochet will be showcased and swerve. Like Ricochet has a little bit of a name for himself. Mike Bailey, he's an indie. He's an indie guy. He's one of those little indie wrestlers. He's a GCW guy. He's not a game changer. He's just a guy who can put on great matches. Nothing more than, in my opinion, from what I've seen of him. He's just a great.
Let me ask this. Does that audience want that then? Is he
Yes.
or okay?
Yes.
So is it really a bad signing?
It's not a bad signing. It's just not a game changing signing.
Okay, it's not a needle mover. I
It's
think
not a needle mover.
Ricochet has a needle mover, and I think it moves a lot of needles when Samantha Irving comes out. I think everybody starts saluting straight up when she comes out.
They should have done that at Revolution. She should have came out at Revolution.
Now it's too
was the
late.
time you should have came out. Exactly what you just said. She should have came out at Revolution.
I don't think she's coming.
Did something with Nada. She should have. This is what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a manager. Why not do it? Why not have some mark pay you guys a frick ton of money and do it? It ain't WWE. It ain't nearly the exposure. The fans probably aren't going to like you as much because you came from over there. She had it really good.
Speedball will be delegated in Ring of Honor.
He'll be in Ring of Honor in 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you that he's going to be this. He's going to be what Sammy Guevara.
I can't wait for all in. When and I want them to point to the sign like Rick, we'll get to Hairspray in a minute. The great matchup, the Battle of the Titans between Mike Speedball Bailey and Willa Yuta. Oh baby, what a match! Oh, I can hear that this is awesome chants already. This is awesome. Just standing there, man. For the pure champ, for the Ring of Honor pure champion. Pure piece of shit. As we move on here. We got a backstage with Christian Cage backing down Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne, where this company cannot go out of their way to tell you how WWE lives rent-free in their head. Christian Cage, best line of the night: "Chill out, Mother Wayne, or you'll be waiting tables back at the third shift at the Waffle House." That's all I got out of this, because I couldn't give two craps about Nick Wayne. And why does Mother Wayne taller than all of them?
I don't give a shit about Christian Cage, especially the way they did him at Revolution. No, you can't make me. You can't. This guy is. His days are over, in my opinion.
So are we supposed to care? Because Adam Copeland killed his buddy, his best friend, with that ending. Not going over if that reports are true, not taking the pin because that, and he wants the contract back because he signed it to not to wrestle Adam Copeland, but he didn't say to pair Copeland, so he's trying to backtrack. Too late, pal. Mm-hmm. I think Christian Cage is done. I think creatively, who gives a crap, like you said. He was interesting with that contract, but that's it. I don't want to see Christian Cage. No. AEW has a long list of wrestlers that doesn't give you ratings or need to watch. Absolutely, they don't put butts in the seats. We'll see on that there. Oh, here's one of the match of the night. This one in I think Tuna Roll Meltzer gave it 7 stars. It was Matt Caster versus Koshei Takeshita. Wow.
What?
7 stars.
7 stars.
when Matt Caster's in the ring boasting about having the most popular T-shirt on AEW shop in the shop there, that Death Rider shirt. I thought Death Rider shirt was
God! If he had the most popular AEW merch on the website, give me a break. That company's going to die next week. That company.
That's what he said.
If that's the case, that company's dead.
Matt Caster's not gonna lie. Look at that mustache. That's a truthful mustache there. He says it proven he was the most popular one of the Acclaim. He was, everybody wanted to scissor with him, not with the other one. And he talks about having the most popular chant in AEW. Let's go Max. Let's go Max. And you're the best. He's the best wrestler alive. And it just grows off his tongue. It just rolls. He just is natural charisma. Caster says that the people in Fresno are stupid, and he will, however, answer his open challenge is stupid as well. So let's see who comes out, because he wants to take on the best wrestler alive. And all of a sudden, a Koshe take a shit comes out and hits him with the alpha, comes down, takes off his robe, and this was a 1-2-3 matchup, and there it goes. Thank you, Bam. Another squash for Matt Caster, and Matt Caster should open up a just like Patti LaBelle with she's got a whole line of sweet potato pie, because Matt Caster is serving up squashes. She's swerving up squashes, so he should open up a sweet potato pie or a squash pie company, because all he does is a certified squash, man.
Yeah, the only thing on this show that's even worth us talking about was Osprey. In my opinion, nothing else. I don't give a rat's ass about Orange Cassidy versus Jericho.
You didn't care about Jericho?
Why was that the main event?
You didn't care about Jericho boasting about Gravity's mask? Ooh, I got masks all over my wall. I got a couple masks myself. Wow, who's Jericho? Willow Nightingale fought for NXT Ford in one of the worst chair shots you could see. These people need to get in the ring and practice these matches. Go over the matches. Take a day and go over choreograph.
They don't. There's no way they do.
But some people shit on WWE for having a performance center. But I digress. We got Willow gets the victory. We got Billy Starks confront Mercedes Moné in the back. Okay, you're the next victim. Next.
Yep.
Then here it is. Will Hairspray comes out. He wants to win the AEW title, and he wants to headline All In Texas. And he even points on the sign. Talk about a guy who's having a remorse of not signing, running from the grind, and I wish I was in WWE doing big business, because he would be the face of the European tour right now if he was in the WWE, but I digress. Hairspray points, whatever. I don't like Hairspray. I'm not a Will Ospreay fan. I think he puts on some great matches, but it's just me.
Well, Will Ospreay's my favorite, and I want him, and then he will win the Owen Hart Cup. I think he should have been AEW champion a while ago, but I kind of like how they didn't give it to him right away, because it makes the moment when he wins it, for me personally, really good. I can't wait for Will Ospreay to win the world title at All In. The pointing at the sign's a little copy. I don't know what else. I don't know what other words to put it. I didn't like them pointing at the sign. I'm gonna give my.
It's called rent free. Rent free, yeah. Brother.
That's really what it is. Like, I'm gonna give my fair criticism when it's due. I think he's so over. All the kids love him. Everyone loves him. So he's gonna win the AEW title at All In. Not sure if it's gonna be against Moxley, Cope. I don't know. But I think Ospreay's gonna win. Yeah. Owen Hart Foundation tournament winner.
Okay. All right, here we go. Shocked that you don't like the bruv. No, I'm not a fan of him. I don't. I despise his match. The knockout no selling. Sell me at least a move, man. Sell me something. Sell me a wet dream or something. But don't out there. and kill the business, brother. Just tell me something. It's just, it is what it is. All right, we'll move on here. I still think he's going to be AEW World Champion in that show in Texas. I think so. Jay Wright addresses his Revolution accident, saying that he didn't hit Adam Copeland with the thing, but of course people putting that seed there. We look like we're getting Cope and Jay White. That's going to happen. I think Jay White takes the title from Ospreay in November, whatever pay-per-view that is, whatever if they're going to do Revolution, or whatever they move it around, full gear, or whatever. I think that's where Jay White wins it. I don't think. And of course we have AEW. We have a great one here. Main event time. AEW International Tournament. Orange Cassidy with his hands in his pocket, playing pocket pool all the way down the ring, taking on Hechicero. Hechicero closing out the show. Oh, baby Tony Khan with the luchadors, because he saw Chad Gable and he bought a friend and he says, gracias. And he says, I got to put some Mexican wrestling luchadors on my main event too before Raw does it. Your thoughts?
Didn't watch it. Turned it off after Ospreay came out because I don't watch Orange Cassidy matches. I'm not watching some loser idiot with his hands in his pocket give people unrealistic drop kicks. Nope, not watching it. Not talking about it. Orange Cassidy ain't worth talking about it on this show. Me personally, bro. I don't watch an Orange Cassidy match. Even during the pay-per-views, I do something else and then I go back to it when he's done. I'm not watching Orange Cassidy. Nope, turned it off.
So you
turned it off as soon as Ospreay went off. I turned it off.
Okay, you're not a fan of the freshly squeezed.
I'm not a fan of that phony little idiot putting his hands in his pocket. Every time I see it, I just want to throw my setup at my TV. Like I hate it. I hate him. I don't hate him, obviously. I don't know. I hate the strong word, but what you guys know what I mean. I can't stand it.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with you with that because
just like
I'm not.
You can't stand Ospreay. Just like
exactly.
You can't stand Ospreay. I can't stand Orange Cassidy. I can't stand Orange Cassidy the way you can't stand Ospreay.
And I like Orange Cassidy though. I understand he's not. Listen, I don't think he's a main event guy. He's not a main event guy. He's not a main guy to put your face at the company. But I like it. He's fan. You know why I kind of like Orange Cassidy? Because he's the one guy you could market. I seen little kids dress up like him. Yeah. When you have kids, you have to bring in the new generation of wrestling fans 10, 15 years from now. When we're long gone, we're not doing streaming platforms, we're not here, we're doing something else, whatever. You still need that young generation, and they're gonna remember Orange Cassidy to hit and talk to them and the same way John Cena babies and now the Roman Reigns kids coming up and so forth and so forth. You need that cycle, and AEW needs to build a star like Orange Cassidy. I get it. It might not be everybody's cup of coffee. I always tell everybody that, but it's someone's cup of coffee. So I get it. But that should have not been the main event. Here we go. Tony, the Mimosas match, one of the stupidest matches, Orange Cassidy and AEW. Hurricane Helms, Al Snow. I mean, yeah, when he beat Jericho in that Mimosas match, it's like, holy shit. Yeah.
Oh God, the magic came back from a crazy.
Yes. Here we go. Hey, Tony, your favorite Kendrick Lamar song is Swimming Pool with My Friends called Camila from Kennedy High School, said my ex-boyfriend. I don't get the reference, Isaac, but I'll highlight it. It might be over my head. I'll manage myself. But something that's not, I've got to do something that everyone needs to do, Evolve. Speaking of Evolve, WWE Evolve. Now, this one, their second episode today. I am a fan. I'm hooked on it. I love Evolve. Hopefully, soon in the near future, I'll be in attendance live at Evolve. You're going to see my face on Wednesday nights, even though I'm currently, because they film it on a different day. Little insight, I will be probably attending Evolve from periodically going back there at the Performance Center. I cannot wait to go see. Stevie Turner announces that Riley Osborne and Ora Ments are now a part of the roster. Good for them. More TV time for them. You had Gal walked over the VIP section, sat over Kendall Gray and Carly Bright. You continue to tease Kendall Gray and Carly Bright looking to break up or go separate directions. Their storylines related. If you follow Evolve, one guy that was came out, Harlem Lewis, big monster from Long Island, New York, defeated Braxton Cole. Harlem Lewis looks like another big obstacle. Out comes Gal to cut a promo, but he was faced off with Keanu Carver. Keanu Carver and Harlem Lewis looks like they're going to be in a collision course. Two big monsters on the Evolve, up-and-comers. I can't wait to see it. Let's go. I'm like, whoa. It's only second episode, and we're already feeling these two. It's like, oh, like this is like their version of Femi and Moose. You know, eventually these two are going to go into a collision course, and I can't wait to see them. Remember those names, Harlem Lewis and Keanu Carver. Love it. Evolve has been so entertaining, Tony. 45 minutes and it's just so entertaining, so good with the way they're doing it. I'm very, very big fan of it. It's just great. In the video package, you have Kylie Ray discussing joining WWE Evolve, what it means to her. You're getting now emotionally invested. Now, if you've never seen Kylie Ray and you hear all the popular circuses, you're finding out who she is. That's attention, AEW. That's what you need to do with Megan Bayne.
Is that the girl that was involved with like the Chris Jericho stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I knew that name sounded familiar.
Yes. That's the girl with the Chris Jericho made some advances and could do some sexual harassment cases or whatever the case, you know, for that there. We don't know, so speculation. Kylie Bright and Kendall Gray
I'm just asking because the name sounded familiar.
No, of course. Discussed their win in the last week's interview. Zayda Steel interrupts them and demands why she's not in the ring yet. So Zayda Steel, another independent wrestler that is checks the box. That everybody knows who she is. Comes out and very excited. And the match to me was the match of the night. I tweeted at both these ladies, and both ladies responded. Thank you, ladies, for your lovely likes and response back. Zara Zeker, I'm going to say it wrong, but she's the Powerhouse Petite. She was impressive. The Powerhouse Petite defeat Kylie Ray in a match. They're going to run it back in Independence. And I'm like, take my money. Where are you? Where can I buy it? If I could fight on Fightful, Thriller, whatever, I definitely will pay to see that match between these two ladies. I told them, I hope you ladies become a rivalry with WWE ID into NXT and so forth, because the Petite Powerhouse put a lasting impression on me. Great. She fixed all the boxes. She was great. And if Kylie Ray is an independent wrestler throughout, who's a part of the WWE ID. We saw her. We're going to see her later on wrestle in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. She's going for the finals in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Women's Cup, you know, for the first inaugural champion for MLP. So Kylie Ray doing some wonderful things all across the landscape of professional wrestling. Zara comment on her win. She interviewed her, shook the hand of Kylie Ray, but Wendy Chu comes out, ran Steele away, and she took care of, and just totally, just Wendy Chu just comes out, and I like Wendy Chu's new attitude. She beats out Ariana Bennett. She destroys her in a quick match. Wendy Chu is going to be the veteran on Evolve that's going to take over the ladies and show them, be that ring general, get these new talent over. Good job from Wendy too, like an in-ring coach with the matches. So that's her way of not getting released, of becoming valuable to a company. What Wendy Chu is doing. Great job to see Wendy on there, because she would get lost in the main roster. She gets elevated to the WWE SmackDown and Raw. Eventually, she's going to get released because they really didn't got nothing too much for her. So have her be there like an in-ring character as an in-ring coach to put on these matches. WWE intelligence. It's a smart move for her. Brittany Reese spoke with Kylie Bright and Kendall Gray in the VIP section. Brittany Reese changing her personality, not that fitness, looking more sex appeal in Brittany Reese. Hey, nothing wrong with that for Brittany. She's a very pretty, wonderful lady. Very pretty young lady for her. We had Javier Bernard sat down with Luca Consafino, had a face-off, sitting across one another, where Luca doesn't even accept his challenge. Like, I didn't even think about you. Like, you meant nothing to the these conciliere of Evolve. So that looks like they're going to set up a match for them. Let's see what else. Ora Mensah and Riley Osborne was a hell of a match. These, of course, you've seen it on Level Up. You've seen it on NXT. Metaphor, Ora Mensah beats Riley Osborne. Riley Osborne getting away from the Chase U gimmick, but he's still a high flyer with Ora Mensah. I'm going to tell you, they put on a good match. Very good match there to close out for the main event. But Gallus Boys appears backstage. Joe Coffey said that's the first time for them in Evolve, and they just went at it, and they made left a lasting impression. They're going out there to wreak havoc. I'm actually surprised Gallus Boys going to Evolve. I thought they would kind of feel, to me, they should be with McIntyre and his group watching his back in the main roster. But hey, it is what it is, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Evolve. I gotta go watch it probably later today because it's on the same time as AEW. But I like Wendy Chu. That's what stood out to me. I enjoy Wendy Chu being in Evolve because, like you said, even though I believe she like squashed her
Yeah,
I did see that. But I agree with what you said. You know, keep her around so you don't have to release her. I've seen Wendy Chu in person. She has actually shook in my hand. So I like what she's doing. She's the more experienced and seasoned out of all these people. So yeah, I like it. But I gotta start. I'm gonna watch it all tonight. It's just sometimes I make that the last show of my list just because it's on Dynamite. But yeah, I like I said last week, I enjoy what these guys are doing down in Evolve. I think some of the names stood out, like that Carver guy.
Keanu Carver.
He stands out really good to me, so I do want to watch to go see him. I know Trill wasn't on this show, but I think Trill London stands out to me too. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out more. But from what I'm hearing from Kevin, from the little things that I'm seeing on my own time, I think Evolves. I think it's good. It's good. I think the crowd looks good in the show too. So good stuff.
Names that stand out for me. Ariana Bennett. She's the one that lost to Wendy Chu. Again, just because a wrestler gets squashed here in Evolve right now doesn't mean that they're not enhancement talent. They're learning how to take the squash, learn how to work. Ariana Bennett she fits the part. She checks the boxes. She's tall. She's well built, muscular. I'm like, WWE continues to bring these model women that I'm like, wow. I could see where they could put a rocket ship behind her later on. As same thing as the petite powerhouse, Zaria Zacher. She's another one that put a lasting impression on me. I'm like, whoa, where the hell she came from? She's been working in independent scene and as well. Seeing her first match, I appreciate her match on Evolve. And especially going in there with Kylie Ray, who Kylie Ray has more experience. They put on a great match that they could easily been main event. Easily could have been the main event there between these two. That I was like, I need to see that again. Of course, your lasting impression for Harlem Lewis looked like a total powerhouse. Like, oh damn! And then that face-to-face stare down with, you could say, Evolve's big superstar, Keanu Carver. That's what you want. That's what you want building. You're invested on some of these names that you haven't seen before, like, Jack Cartwheel, Sean Legacy, Cappuccino Jones. They came out a little earlier. Callie Armstrong confronted them. Who Callie Armstrong was a star in episode 1. She came out again and made all those 3 men, punked them again. So she's like, you know what? You guys are the males, alphas, but guess what? I ain't staying down either. So Callie Armstrong continues to show she's a alpha female in that locker room for Evolve on that as well. So we move on to Thursday night for the go-home show for Impact before Sacrifice. I'm not going to stay too much on this. Just some backstage promo with Sally Callahan where he could not touch Mance Warner or Steph Lander. They provoked him. If he touches him, he will get suspended. And Sally Callahan can't wait to get his hands on Mance Warner. They kept getting that good build-up. I wanted to see that more. Wesley defeats Laredo Kid. They wanted to give you that result there. Cody Deaner and JDC, where JDC defeats Cody Deaner. Cody Deaner had the crowd eating out of his palm of a hand. Steve Macklin and Eric Young, they keep showing promos. They keep intermenting that recruitment for Eric Young for Steve Macklin. Will he turn to the dark side? Will he get recruited? That's building up. That's the storyline within there. Tesha Blanchard teaming up with Cora Jade, taking on Masa Slamovich versus Ying Yang Li from Chongqing, China. This was a good one here. Cora hits Marsha and wins. Spasimovic and Yi via pinfall with the buzzsaw. So Wolf, that's teasing because they have that match coming up. And of course, Joe Henry versus Santino Marella's choice. We had Ryan Nemeth, my little brother, comes out. That was a quick match. He wasn't really the match. It wasn't the person he had in mind for Joe Henry. Out come Hammerstone in his last TNA television appearance for now. He's not contractually obligated with them. He's a free agent. He wrestles Joe Henry. Joe Henry retains. I want to see Hammerstone back in TNA personally. I hope he comes back. I hope he doesn't go to All Elite Wrestling where he's going to get lost in the shuffle. They don't book the big man. I don't know if WWE has that. We've seen him wrestle in WWE for NXT. Do we see NXT for Hammerstone? It could be a possible. He was in the Performance Center. They like his performance against Tony Deanne, or working for Tony Deanne against Oba Femi. We don't know if Hammerstone goes to WWE or NXT. Either way, I'm interested to see when Hammerstone shows up, and we'll find out there. That is there, of course. And one quick note: Xia Brookside versus Rosemary. Rosemary defeats Brookside via disqualification because she used the green mist. So that sets up for a great Friday night. We'll go right to SmackDown because SmackDown started earlier. It was across the pond in Barcelona, where the home of the Tai Kai Sai Tai in Spain. If you know Cobra Kai, you know what that means. We had a hell of a one. To kick off the show with a promo with the United States champion, LA Knight, saying ole instead of yeah. I like that. International crowd, Chris, is so great. He gets interrupted, though, by Solo, Jacob Fatu.
They didn't let him talk for like a solid 5 minutes.
No.
5 minutes.
How do you like that?
They didn't like him talk. They didn't let LA Knight talk for like a. Oh, I'm gonna keep it going because we got a lot still more to talk about with Saturday.
Yes.
And all that stuff. But I just want to point that out there. They did not let LA Knight speak for like 5 minutes.
Nope, they did not.
And
they did not provide it.
You were right. You were right though, because him beating Shinsuke, like obviously, like prayers to Shinsuke. He has one of his good friend, like brother, whatever.
His brother passed away. He was grieving.
Oh shit. Oh okay. Oh shit. Condolences to him. But either way, this was. I'm happy. Like not. You know what I'm trying to say, right? I'm trying to say like it was good that he was United States, not in the circumstances, but it's good that
it was best for business.
Yeah, exactly.
It was best for business, not to cut you off, just helping you get to the
right. Because I don't want to. I don't want to.
I'm sticking the hot tag. I'm sticking the hot tag. Give me.
Yeah.
Tag me, brother. Tag me, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So yes, it leads to a 6-man tag eventually. Of course, Braun Strowman comes out, chases on. Nick Aldis announced the 6-man tag immediately. Back and forth here. We get the victory. Solo Sikoa, Fatu. They're gonna kill each other. These two monsters. I can't wait to see those two go at it. LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Braun Strowman, back and forth. This was a good 6-man tag. The crowd. What makes all these shows great is those international crowds. They just continue to be on fire. And of course, back and forth, we're going to see Fatu brutalizing Strowman with multiple moonsaults before putting him through a barricade. And that's the end of that one there. We had a video package, though, hyping Naomi versus Jade Cargill, sitting down interview with Jade earlier in the day, dismissing Naomi's claim of being a victim, accusing her of running away. Liv and Raquel interrupts this feud, blaming for Naomi's attack. Jade then opens a challenge to Liv. Liv becoming kind of laughing, being rude, and Jade is just not having it. She's not putting up with anyone's crap. But it still didn't. I still wanted to hear more from Jade. I wanted to hear how she feels of Naomi. I mean, Bianca. Never got to hear from her mouth what she thought, what happened with Bianca. I was like, does she feel that Bianca knew? Does she feel that she, did enough as her tag team partner? Like, does she feel disappointed that she picked Naomi right away as a tag team partner to fill in without thinking or investigating? So there's still a lot of questions to be answered. I think they're prolonging it with now Liv having a match with Jade. What's your thoughts on that?
I could see that. I could see it happening. Not much to fight for there, but I could see like a SmackDown soon from there. That's
going to be interesting on that there. All right. Before then, we get Charlotte Flair taking on B-Fab. Before the match, Charlotte Flair cuts a promo and B-Fab cuts a promo in Spanish. And she started walking down, building her own legacy during the match. B-Fab comes close to victory with a couple of pump handle kicks to Charlotte, turning the tide with the natural selection before getting knocked down into a figure 8 for the win. One of the best matches for B-Fab going in the ring. She was there with Charlotte. She didn't look out of place. I'm very encouraged. I'm very encouraged with B-Fab going forward. I kind of want to. I'm a big fan of hers. I think both professionally and I think she's beautiful. So both of those things with her. Definitely wanted to see her going forward if she gets pushed. Don't know what happens there, but she kept getting after the bell, refused to let go of the submission hold, and it's Tiffy time. Tiffy rushes out down to the save. A hoo-ha-ha brawl breaks out. And people were struggling to pull them apart. Tiffany leaps off the top ropes with a swanton bomb onto security, and they go off the air for now. For now, because they return later on to interrupt the Miz TV segment. And my goodness, before that, we got a video package of Drew McIntyre where he vows to destroy Damian Priest, claiming that their rivalry was about more than championship. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Tiffany were still brawling backstage as the Miz attempts the Miz TV segment. And then Tiffany jumps off the Videotron with a swanton bomb, and the crowd goes berserk. This was awesome. Let's go. And she says, there's a new queen in town, and it's Tiffy time. Oh, if you're thinking Charlotte was going to push over this young girl, that right there said, not today. What's your thoughts on that, Bill?
Yeah, it was good. Finally, Tiffany stands up for herself in the last couple of weeks. You know, Charlotte's kind of gone on there and had Tiffany on the ground holding up her championship. So Tiffany needs the revenge. She needs to look strong because a lot of people just aren't how do I say, like, aren't believing she could win because of how dominant Charlotte is, because of who Charlotte Flair is. So this was good. This was good. It made her like, come on, like I'm here now. I'm here now. So good job, Tiffany. Not the biggest fan of Tiffany, but give her props when it's due. This was good right here.
I agree with that one there. And the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," where the Miz acknowledged that. Yes, that segment was actually awesome. And of course, he says, with no further ado, he brings out the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who comes out, enters the ring. Before the second whoa, Miz, in total heel fashion that he knows how to do, knows how to generate heat, knows a veteran in the business, cuts off the music, and he started, which led to no sing-along time. And Cody Rhodes said, enough with the talking. He drops down and gives him a punch in the mouth, and he just beats the crap out of him, taking the microphone. Cody calls out John Cena, confirms his presence for this Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and everyone's excited to see John Cena, Cody Rhodes under the same roof. What's going to happen? What's the anticipation? What's the atmosphere? Are we having an international incident in Belgium? Between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. But I love the fact that Cody Rhodes had the Barcelona Nightmare T-shirt underneath. Marketing, pal. Making that money. That crowd was electric. I loved it. I love that segment for Cody. Enough talk, get to the hands, and I loved it.
Yeah, me too. Him and Cena under the same roof Monday is going to be insane.
I know that's going to be phenomenal.
I hope it's not one of those things where Cena just goes out there and doesn't say a word. Like, no. Like, I'm excited.
As we go now, Cody, as we go backstage on SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura requests a rematch against LA Knight for his United States title, but Damian Priest interrupts, leading to a match that sets up in this bout. Damian Priest dominates early, but Nakamura counters with the Kintasa after a distraction from McIntyre. However, McIntyre immediately attacks Priest. Nakamura gets disqualification. He gets attacked by Damian Priest, gets attacked by McIntyre, causing the match to be stopped. McIntyre continues his onslaught, beating up on Damian Priest, gouging his eyes, and using the steel steps as a weapon. Even after Priest got to his feet, McIntyre floored him again with a claymore, a promise to make his life a living hell. But Nakamura also attacking Damian Priest, where even McIntyre was like, okay, Nakamura getting a little fed up and tired, people interfering in his matches there.
Yeah,
it's like, all right.
It should be.
Right now, what we're seeing, WrestleMania looks like Damian Priest and McIntyre are going to a course of collision.
Yes, sir. Yep, I agree with that.
I'm wouldn't mind that.
I'm with it. I wouldn't mind that either. It's not all matches on the card have to have a title or something like that, and it's not. It's not. There's only certain. I don't like to do it. This is an AEW. There's not everybody holds the title in WWE. You gotta.
Wouldn't mind would you mind I wouldn't mind a weapons match.
Like some type of stipulation. No, they could do like a
single pole match or a hardcore match, something
like a corny Las Vegas street fight or a
enough with the street. I mean, I guess you could put street fight. Because
or
it's
no holds barred. I don't know.
I think that no holds barred is going for another match that I mentioned on the SmackDown watch along. On it, I'll get to it when we get to it appropriately. I think that no holds barred match is for the other two wrestlers for the WrestleMania card. But we'll move on here. We'll get to it. I'm gonna put a pin on that one. You're gonna say, "Oh, it does make sense." But when I tell you it, we get a tease though. We got to tease the return, entering of Rey Fenix. So Rey Fenix, we get a teaser, a hint of Rey Fenix, while the Motor City Machine Guns were interrupted DIY backstage promo, stating that they have unfinished business. Elsewhere, Chelsea Green was interviewing her Secret Service agent, Piper Niven and Albert Fire. Selena Vega interrupts, demanding a United States title shot, but Piper Niven steps in and says, "Not before you get through me." So Piper Niven is being scheduled next week versus Selena Vega. So, of course, now she's going through the rankings or trying to go up there so she could try to get a hold of Chelsea Green's United States Women's title. A little bit of a character change for Selena Vega, a little ditzy type of deal. Maybe that will work for her. I don't know.
She should be in one of these spots, not as champion, but a contender. So I'm happy, fine. That's all. Fine.
All right, here we go to the next one.
Biased,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say maybe it's because I'm biased, but I want to see her win the championship.
Hopefully, because we gotta want to see something for Selena Vega in the WWE moving forward. Not just the queen of the ring. We want to see some more from her. All right, in a high-profile match, Randy Orton takes on Carmelo Hayes. Now Carmelo Hayes. He hasn't gotten over too much, but he's been having some great high-profile matches with Cody. Now another match with Randy Orton. Some would like to see him part of the Rocks group, but against Carmelo Hayes, it's not his in-ring, it's his promo or his microphone skill to come up with some quick lines, and how to deliver it with the cadence is what keeps saying, I don't want to see him with the Rock just yet. I kind of will like, that's why I prefer him over Ethan. I prefer Ethan over Carmelo. I said it backwards. In a high-profile match, Carmelo fakes the handshake before Orton dominates him early, slamming him into the announce table. Carmelo counters with a multiple RKO attempt, but Rowan eventually hits the finisher and secures the victory. But after that, the match, Carmelo Hayes rejects the handshake, prompting another RKO and drops him. But Kevin Owens comes out and attacks Randy Orton, driving him away into the ring post before escaping to the crowd. To me, that's the match that should be no holds barred, because Randy Orton teased a punt kick. And the package power driver is banned from the WWE usage. So you have a no holds bar. You could implement the punt kick. You could implement the package power driver, because you're not going to have another unsanctioned match. You already had it in Elimination Chamber. You don't want to, again, another unsanctioned? No, you call it no holds barred, because those are holds, but they're barred from the WWE from using, right. like before the Muscle Buster wasn't allowed. So you make that a no holds bar match between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. That's why you don't make that with McIntyre and Priest. That's why I said put a pin on it, because it was for something later on it. I think that's the type of matchup you want to see going forward. Kevin Owens escaping chicken shit stuff that he does. I love it. Kevin Owens doing great work in this heel run. And some people might say not even a heel run. Kevin is right. Kevin's always right. But, I digress. Here we go. Backstage, Jacob Fatu challenged Braun Strowman to a match, while another teaser video air package, number 4. could be the Four Horsemen coming back. You know, Cena wants to win that 17 title, and Ric Flair is working out. Maybe he gets the band back together and stop it from happening. No, I digress. The four are surrounded by smoke. Could it be? Who could it be? Could it be Aleister Black coming back? Who, if you had a chance there, who's four?
Yeah.
¿Quién se pone en cuatro?
Probably Aleister Black.
Okay. All right. Your world champion Gunther cuts a promo declaring himself the greatest European wrestler ever. He introduces an NXT star. He said some people say he's an A kid. Some people say he's an up and comer. But we all know him as Axiom, who is from Spain. And my goodness, I'm going to tell you this. When Gunther took on Axiom, this was the match of the night. I'm sorry. For Axiom to have that, Axiom, what a week. Pinch that son of a gun because he's having a run. Wrestling the Hardys, Madison Square Garden, regardless is the theater, whatever the case is, then going in his home country in Spain, getting that hero welcome, that hero serenation to take on one of the best European wrestler of this modern era. What a week for Axiom, A Kid. What a job. They put on a banger of a match. It was Axiom put on a valiant fight, hitting some missile drop kicks, the golden ratio kick, but Gunther ultimately wins with some couple of power bombs. This was phenomenal job. Good job. And the crowd was just giving him the welcome. And kudos to Lillian Garcia, who says her time as full-time SmackDown announcer has come to an end. She'll be doing Saturday night's main event part-time. And for her also to announce Axiom, also being from Spain in her home country, for Axiom as well. What a moment there. Good job there for both of them. For all three, Gunther continues to tell you why he's the ring general, and wouldn't be surprised if he retains that world title. I know Jey Uso is the hottest thing going, but look what the kind of heat that Gunther brings and the international eyes that Gunther brings. It'd be an interesting decision where they go creative in WrestleMania, but we don't have to worry about that. We'll wait when we cross that road. A video package recapping Roman Reigns attacking Rollins Punk from Raw. But then we go to Paul Heyman in the ring, cutting a promo, declaring that it's Roman Reigns Day everywhere, and he's also plugging the WWE 2K25. Heyman states that he will never be Rollins Day, confirming that Roman Reigns will appear on SmackDown in Bologna, Italy next week. And of course, your thoughts on Heyman didn't mention much about Punk, but just said that Roman will be back. And the video game. Heyman doing Heyman things.
Maybe Roman will say it for himself.
Interesting. Would like to see what's going on there. I definitely want to hear what the Tribal Chief have to say next week on SmackDown. And the crowd booing. The crowd booing that Roman ain't going to be there. And I love that Heyman played up to it. See, Paul Heyman, that's why you need these kind of guys who knows how to talk. And they say, oh, boo, boo. I love that the fact that Heyman played on. He just didn't ignore it. He didn't truck through it. He addressed it, but he brought it back again. He reeled them back in. That's the art of a mastery of a storyteller, a talker. And that's a lost art when it comes to professional wrestling. This is something that has to be taught from NXT all the way from Evolve and so forth. So you need the next Paul Heymans. You need the next talkers who could turn the script back on the crowd. And that's what Paul Heyman did. Good job there for Heyman. Of course, you get a backstage with Gunther attempting to convince Jimmy Uso that Jey needs to back out of his WrestleMania match because he's going to get embarrassed. He's going to get choked out to where Jey refused to state that Jimmy refused and said Jey will be yeeting all the way and winning that title. And it was no yeet situation there for Gunther. And then meanwhile, Legado de Fantasma wishes the Street Profits well an upcoming tag match. But then they're taking some jab and laughing. But then Street Profits making their way into the ring against DIY. This match was a awesome tag team title matchup. I didn't know where they were going because WWE has been unpredictable. We had a back and forth matchup. The Profits started off strong, but DIY fought back, setting up a dramatic match-ending sequence where the Profits deliver a doomsday blockbuster on Gargano, but Ciampa broke it up for a pin. I thought that was going to be the final, but after missing meat in the middle, the Profits capitalized when Ford hits a frog splash, securing the victory over Gargano, and the show ends with a new WWE Tag Team Champions in the Street Profits. I felt so happy and so excited for them. I was like, yeah, I felt good. Not that I don't like Ciampa and Gargano. It's just something about the Profits. I just needed them one more title run for them.
No, yeah, it's good that they got their title match. I think I think they earned it because they're really over. You know, they've tried so many things. They've given what they've been like. They've done what they've been given. They've tried to make the best of it. They kind of got screwed over with Bobby Lashley going, you know, leaving the whole thing, being bad. So it's good. I like that the Street Profits are tag team champions. It makes them more legit than they already were. I think people like talk about, yeah, the Street Profits are good, but they're not in that. Now we can talk about tag teams. Now I feel like the tag team division has the right champions on both brands with the Warriors and these guys, the Street Profits. So I feel like the tag team division in WWE is improved. So
I'm for it. I love the closing shots. They had pyro in the back as well.
And I love tag team wrestling. I love tag team wrestling. So I want it to be good in WWE.
Yeah, no, you got it. And that was a great shot to close out Barcelona for Raw, for SmackDown, setting up the Raw on Belgium. So we want to see more European. They had a hell of a card last night in Germany. I saw the sights and sound. Germany was eating the crowd. The place was on fire. So WWE is doing good things in European tours, but it all comes with a little sacrifice. TNA sacrifice down in El Paso, Texas. Yes, this one was great. We had a countdown matchup. We had a countdown where AJ Francis defeat Laredo Kid and Octagon Jr. via pinfall with sliced bread. Casey to Laredo Kid. Now, for those that say, "Oh, Octagon Jr. is copying Pentagon," no, that's the opposite. You got to read the history. There's a history between Octagon and Pentagon. That's the opposite. The good and the bad, the yin and the yang, the black or the white. From Octagon is Pentagon. So you need to check that out. You need the history. It's not a Timo ripoff for one another. They're supposed to be the opposite. Like you have the dark side of the Force and you have the good side of the Force. You have the Sith Lord, you have the Jedi. That's where Octagon and Pentagon are supposed to be. If you check the history of the mask and they're with it. So I see people online trying to poop on Octagon Jr., but no, there's a history behind that. There's a meaning behind that was in the Lucha Libre lore storyline. We have a backstage where Ariana Grace hypes up the title match between Marsha Slamovich and Cora Jade. Tessa Blanchard interrupts and says it's only a matter of time before she gets back her title. And Blanchard says she will never become NXT Knockout Champion. So keeping an eye on that there. Backstage, you have the System and the Colognes talk about the main event in the steel cage. Moose says you approve why he is the greatest TNA X Division champion of all time. And then behold, on the stage as they go to the crowd, Ryan Nemeth comes out to the stage and hype up that his big brother, Nick Nemeth, has returned. And then they say that we're going to get Sacrifice kicking off with the tag team match with Teresa. Actually, the Teresa taking on Xia Ling or Ling Ying Lee. But no, it gets interrupted before the match by Rance Warner and Sally Callahan because they brawl from the countdown show to the beginning of the card. It bled through, and I'm going to tell you, it went forward up and down the arenas. My goodness, to me, I love that match. I tweeted out Rance Warner and Steph Lander. I told them, you guys stole the show. This match was violence. I need to see more. You left me wanting more. The powder spot from Steph Lander into the eyes of Rance Warner was classic Mr. Fuji, total heel where Sami Callihan takes the pin, but I want more. Staple gun situation. I know, but you know what? When wrestling gives you a little bit of everything, not just 450 Phoenix Flash and flip-flops, you got some hardcore violence with staple guns. When it's done right, it's yes, I need more. And they left me Callahan and Warner. I want more. I needed to see that. I really enjoyed that one. Do you have anything before I go to Tessa?
Just bring the damn digital media title back because this should have been that. That's it.
Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe Zayda Callahan, Statlander will put that digital media title on the line where Callahan wins it, in a battle against Mance Warner. But I need
the digital media championship.
Oh, okay. You want it to be official? Okay. Hey, I'm with it too. I want to see these two go at it again some more. I need some more violence from Mance Warner and Zayda Callahan. And Mance, since coming to TNA, you're making it seem like this is the best decision in your career. You're on TV. You're being exposed. You're being exposed and shown for good of how talented you are. How talented you are, Vance. You are very talented. You could be the next heel. Bird, and I'm not comparing you, but you're giving me a lot of Terry Funk vibes. You're giving me a lot of Terry Funk vibes with your promos, your style, the brutal style. Now with the wrestling moves, I gotta see more before I can say, yeah, that's a Terry Funk vibe there. But you're giving me that right now, Vance Warner, and I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan on that there. We got the Tessa Blanchard taking on Ying Lee. She beats her via pinfall. She gets the Magnum flying double knee. But before that match starts, she comes out with the young lady who sings her intro song live in person. I loved it. She's not a bad-looking lady, too.
You can barely hear it with the crowd booing her.
But I don't care. The
I loved it. No, I loved it. You guys know how I feel about Tessa Blanchard. Everyone knows she's a second-generation wrestler. Phenomenal.
Third. My grandfather. Third generation.
I didn't know her grandfather was a wrestler. I know her dad is Tully, but I didn't know her grandfather was. Okay, well, she's a third generation wrestler. She has her ups and downs. I like this better than the Masha Slamovich and Corey G. This is the best knockouts match. And I swear I'm not being biased. This is the best that Lee's ever looked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Tessa made her look like $1 million. Give her the credit when she's due. That's all I got. Terrific match. I loved it. Keep feeding into that heel.
I agree with you. Xia Li or Ying Lee, one of her best, very good match. At least her best match in TNA so far right now on the roster. Good job there. Good job there. And then we'll move on here to a Lucha Rules. They're in El Paso, Texas, the home of Eddie Guerrero, of course. They had Lucha Rules. You had in the 6-man tag. You had Wesley, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek Igwe from NXT taking on, of course, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Ace Austin. Very good matchup here with the Lucha Rules. It wasn't convoluted. When you do these kind of stipulations done right and not often, or it doesn't feel like second nature, when it's done right, it hits. It gets you invested. It gets you wanting to see more. You saw Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, and Ace Austin defeat Lee via pinfall and a corkscrew drive from the top ropes from Wentz to Lee. And then they had Wesley in the middle of the ring. It felt like that a feud is over. It felt like they closed the chapter and they closed that feud where, okay, we got the best of you, Wes. Be gone. Hopefully that's it. Hopefully they move on. Wesley, we hope we see him more in TNA against other wrestlers. Wouldn't mind that. Did you do you about Hulk Hogan walk out the single? He was going to do something to market his beer, and some people were waiting hours, and he just left. I heard something about that. People were complaining about not signing kids' autographs or something for Hogan, and I believe in some kind of Walmart or Target. I heard something about that from Hogan going forward. In another match here, we had a match. Frankie Kazarian versus Steve Macklin. He beats Kazarian via pinfall with the KIA. But the story was Eric Young was at commentary. Eric Young got involved, got interfered. Looks like he's trying to recruit Macklin for Kazarian. Doesn't hurt him. He's got the call your shot gauntlet. So he's gonna be a player there. We'll move on. Nothing to really speculate. Here's one, a TNA Tag Team Championship, Knockouts Championship. Ash by Elegance teaming up with the Personal Chancelier against the champion Spitfire. Now Spitfire, right now I believe they were the longest reigning TNA Knockouts champion, passing Killer Kelly and and the young lady Marsha Slamovich, MK Lotra. But in a match where Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance, there's some good spots there. They win the TNA Knockouts champions, defeating them via pinfall. Ashley and Heather hit the double stomp after the match. Where's the one when the celebration doesn't stay too long because out of nowhere after the match, Metaphor, Jakara, Jack, and Last Legend crossed the line to TNA, and they showed up and they got the huge pop. Yes, let's go, girls. I'm all meta. Let's go. Your thoughts of the new Knockouts champion?
Yes, I do. I'm happy. I had you in my ear, and I had to let my grandfather in his accident knock him out, and I rushed up here. I need to talk about this. Yes, I popped inside of you guys know that meme.
I'm here.
Like what?
I'm here. I'm gonna give you the floor.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, you're good. So you guys know that meme where it's like, oh, I just saw him fall to his knees inside of a Target. That's kind of what this was for me because I was literally inside of a Target shopping while I was watching this on Kev's stream on the playback, which you guys should go subscribe and watch because you guys can go rewatch it. But this was great. This was they built this so good from the vignettes to where, there's not many Knockouts tag team titles. They're kind of working on what they have, but these are two really good tag teams to do it. You kind of have then two completely different personalities. I loved it. And I like the title change, even though they might not have it for that long. They probably won't even have it in Slammiversary. Hell, they might even lose it next week in the taping. We don't know. I don't want to know because a lot of you people are spoiling it. I'm seeing some, which you guys gotta really stop. But I like Ash by Elegance winning because it's something different. It's not just Splitfire's they've been doing their thing for months, and these two have been going back and forth, and you kind of needed a change. I didn't expect it personally. I like their feud. I like their feud from what's his name again?
The Conchlier.
The Conchlier, him doing his shot. I pop for him every night, every Thursday. I really enjoy. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I really enjoy his presence and what he does. Like he's goofy. He's not too serious, but he's a heel. Like he does healer stuff, like by helping them. Oh, great stuff! I'm so happy for Dana Brooke. And that's maybe a big reason why I cheer for Ash and by Elegance so much is because like I've never been the biggest Dana Brooke fan ever. I'm not gonna lie, but seeing her improvement I watched on Impact, I was like, wait, Kev, you were there. I was like, wait, am I actually cheering her? Like, am I gonna root for her? She's doing great work on the mic. She plays that Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Rich. She plays that better than Tony Storm imitates Marilyn Monroe. All right. That's better, like that. Some good stuff by Dana Brooke. I'm so happy on her improvement. She's doing the best work of her career. She's being used every single week. And I always saw her. She had the size. She had the athletics. She just didn't click with the audience. She just didn't have a character that was interesting. Tommy Jr. gave her a character that's interesting, and all of a sudden I feel right. So shout out Dana Brooke.
And what's your thoughts on crossing the line? Metaphor, Jakara and Lash.
I really like that. I didn't expect that, and I like it, Kev, because me and you talk about every week how, oh damn, like there's no NXT women's tag team titles, excuse me, and there's no or the main roster tag team titles are. They'll have them, but I don't see. I see them having it because it's good for their group being done, right? So I don't see Lash and Jakira, getting it. This is amazing. And you know how I was just talking about when you were gone, when I was just here, I was talking about how, there's Split Fire and Ash by they kind of been going back and forth for months, and there's no real knockouts teams. This is perfect. This is perfect. Both parties, for Metaphor and for the Knockouts division, because Metaphor has nothing really to strive for, and they need women.
No, especially when you separated Rosemary and Wendy Chu, they could have been a tag team if you wanted to keep them. Even though they're both from both different promotions, but you could have had them there. You could have had separate different tag teams for of course. Killer Kelly is still out with the injury, maternity leave when hopefully her return when she's ready to return. I don't know if her contract is up or not. I don't know where Killer Kelly is. Tyler King, we don't, she was out with injury. Don't know when is her timetable to return and so forth. So there's still ladies out there for the TNA Knockouts division for singles or tag teams, if you want to say that. We don't know, but it's great to see Metaphor there. We'll see what Metaphor does next. If they were, and I'm thinking, you know what? Wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones that capture the gold for the NXT or cross promotion brand.
I wouldn't be either, because like I said when you were gone, I don't know if you heard me, I don't see Ash. I don't see them holding it long.
No,
they just needed to change because they've been going at it for months, and Split Fire just dominates them. So it was
I agree with
change that. Split Fire.
Yes, unless if you got something with Zaya Brookside. Unless Zaya Brookside finds a tag team partner, I don't know if there is anyone in the pipeline for TNA. If they will bring them, but I think Metaphor
do something with TNA. She's on the show every week.
With who again? I'm sorry.
Ariana Grace. Have her and Zaya Brookside. She's on the freaking show every week because of her Santino.
I don't know. I don't know if to me, I think with Adriana Grace, I think she's going to transition to a valet, a manager, a role, an on-air personality. I don't know if she's going
to. I can see her doing that.
I could see her doing that more. I don't know when it comes to for Adriana, what's her role there, but she is really entertaining. I like her on TV, and she's not a bad in-ring. I've seen her in-ring. I know the personality, the character, some people might not like it. Whatever the case is, I'm okay with it. I get it. I know where she's coming from. But watching her, she could wrestle, but she still needs more bumps in the ring. We'll see what happens for Adriana and that Knockouts tag team division going forward. But we got a little,
because she really is Miss Canada.
Yeah, we got some injection of some new blood, new teams, and a new tag team. So new storyline going forward when it comes to Metaphor and the Elegance. So it'll be interesting. Could TNA have their first black tag team champions, female tag team champions?
I think they will. I think it's gonna be a little mix. I think it's gonna be a little bit of mix of both, where
Adriana is a character that I'm looking at. There you go. Hopefully she gets better. She will. She will. She's a hard worker. She 3
weeks ago, or something like that.
She did. Yeah.
So
she wrestles house shows. She wrestles a lot of NXT house shows, up and down. Not a lot of television matches, but a lot of house shows. She's getting her bumps or reps on the Florida circuit, up and down. Either in Lakeland or in Jacksonville. Wherever NXT runs their live show over the weekends, she gets some bumps and wrestles for Adriana up and down. So she's putting the work in. And speaking about putting the work in, it's such a short feud, and such a short build, but one of the hottest TNA feuds in right now. I mean, my goodness, I need to see more. Is Mustafa Ali's triumphant return to TNA and the one and only Mike Santana. I'm touching Santana's history with his alcohol abuse in this match. So from realism. And Mustafa Ali defeats Mike Santana via pinfall after Ali slaps Santana, rolls him up while holding the ropes. Remember that. So they keeping that feud alive because they held the ropes, keeping that alive going. And after the match, Ali starts playing mind games, putting a cup of beer in the mat and walks away. Your thoughts?
Match of the night. The ending, like you said, it builds up. You could argue that it was a little but it's going to build up because the feud's not over. me personally, I thought it was the match of the night.
Okay.
I enjoyed the work. Shout out to Mike Santana for, you know, him and Mustafa definitely sit down. You know, you can talk about my past. I trust you to do it. I know you're not going to go overboard. Like, they're doing, you know, he's willing to put his personal life out there for good storytelling on wrestling. So I give full respect to Mike Santana for that. It's really good storytelling. I mean, you can, so many people can relate. And I know people have their fantasy bookings. I really want to see Mike Santana with it.
We'll find out what's those. But here's one thing to you. You know what, funny? Because you picked out your match of the night, right? And I picked the Mance Warner and Sami Callihan, to me, the fight of the night, the match of the night. I want more. And both of them, we both come out saying, I need to see more again. I need it because they both left it where they left it where if they run it back, the finishes, like Mustafa holding the rope, Statlander using the powder. It wasn't a definitive finish of a story. You didn't finish those stories with clean victories. There was wonky or convoluted finishes where it continues that story. So yeah, Mustafa Ali returning, best decision for him to return back to TNA, because right now this feud with Mike Santana and the group he has with Tasha Steele and the Good Hands getting together, part of his cabinet. And I like it because Mustafa had that gimmick prior, right before he got released from WWE, the gimmick of the politician, and Chelsea using the Secret Service. So they're kind of borrowing a little bit of ideas in their own perspective way, where both of them are kind of work similar, kind of, but different in a way. It sounds like a catch-22, but they're working for both of those two performers, and I like it. I like going into that there. And the mind games that Mustafa leaves Santana with the beer, where, is he going to fall off the wagon or not? Only time will tell. TNA Knockouts Championship. And this is a cross promotion between Marsha Slamovich versus Cora Jade. Could Cora Jade be the first one to cross the line and win the other company's gold? A lot on her back there for Cora Jade in a match with results, and still your Knockouts champion Marsha Slamovich defeats Cora Jade via a power driver for Marsha in a match. It was a pretty good match. It was pretty good. It was all right.
I enjoyed it. There were some spots in the match where maybe some things didn't click. Maybe they didn't know some spot, but I thought it was a really good match. I'm not surprised Marsha won, although obviously I wanted Cora to win. Hopefully they run it back. Hopefully they do, unless Tesla's next in line. But I wouldn't mind.
It looks like it. It looks like it. It looks like it's Tessa. It looks like it'll be Tessa. She's been such a force already that, damn, it looks like it. Cora was just a wedge in this matchup. If Tessa wasn't there, I could see maybe Cora winning, and they're going in a series of back and forth, Chris, where I think that. But since Tesla's now getting that nuclear heat, they got money there. They got money on the table with Tessa, where people are going to want to pay to see someone try to beat her ass and boo her. So that's unfortunately for Cora, wrong place, wrong timing. Bad timing on Cora Jade, in my opinion. But she put on an okay match there with Marsha Slamovich. They'll move on there. Next division ladder match, Moose taking on Jeff Hardy. When I saw this match, I go, damn, I don't see Moose losing two matches, big high-profile matches in a row. He's the face of the franchise for TNA. But this match was great. Seeing Jeff in a singles match, trying to take a singles gold, put on the stops, the ladder match, the spot with Moose just flying. Moose looks very uncomfortable on getting on top of the ladder. But at the end of the day, Moose defeats Jeff Hardy. He gets up, and you protect Hardy from not taking a pin on his shoulders. He just didn't get up on the ladder to get the strap off. So well done. Great violent match there with the ladder, with the spots with the table. Jeff doesn't take a backseat to no one, no matter how big or strong it is. That could have been easily a main event match.
Yeah, 100%. I loved it. It took good safe bumps. And I didn't expect Hardy to win, but it was great. I love seeing him in the singles competition because it's been a while. He's doing this thing with the TNA tag team titles, and I understand that. And he's been in a lot of 6-men, so just the opportunity to see him in a ladder match again, you gotta enjoy that because who knows when that'll happen again.
Yeah. And only that and why don't I make this the match of the night? I wanted to be a little different because Moose always gets the match of the night. Hardy, phenomenal job. They could have easily been match of the night. I just wanted to give it a Mance Warner and Sami Callihan because they to me they satisfy me with wanting more. That's why I picked it the match of the night. Oh, this was really good. This one could have been easily a match of the night, one of my favorite with them because again, Moose and Hardy does great jobs there. What's next for Moose? Who will step up to try to get that X Division's title? Only time will tell. We don't know. But we got a backstage where we see Mike Santana now pleading for his reasoning for payback to Santino against Mustafa Ali. And Santino, as director of authority, has no other choice to give him a rematch. He says, "You're right." You know, he saw it, and we're getting it. So that feud continues in a spot here, which it was a filler. It was a filler, and now I understand why they did it. At the moment when they were doing it live, I was like, "Why? You're not helping yourself." We had the First Class Penthouse, where none other than AJ Francis out there, having trash talking the crowd, but it was because they were setting up the cage by the crew, and I didn't see that on the live. And now that that's what it was. I'm like, why did they do this? This was not needed. This was not necessary. I thought AJ Francis, the more longer he talks, the cornier he gets. If he keeps it short and sweet, he's very menacing, very tough. But he let him go on. He's corny. And I was like, this match will be good though. Yes, the match, yes. But I understand why they did it because we get to that 10-man tag. It's Joe Henry, Matt Hardy, Elijah, Leon Slater, Nick Nemeth taking on Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, John Fandango, or JDC, and Eddie and Orlando Colon. Now, this was like a War Games. Every 2 minutes, you get a new person. The first two fights for 2 minutes, and a new member arrives every minute after. The winner is determined pinfall submission once everyone enters the cage. So we had the man advantage, of course, in and out. At the end of the match was the most. Not only that, the Hardys won. Matt Hardy's won with a twist of faith on JDC. But that's not the story of the match. I'll give you that. The story of the match, after the match, the shock of the night was everyone was excited. Nick Nemeth and Matt celebrating in the middle of the ring. They're friends. They got friendship over 20-plus years in the middle of the ring. Ryan Nemeth slides in like this little weasel that he is. He locks the cage door, and boom, Nick Nemeth turns on Matt with the danger zone, and his teammates are locked out as Ryan keeps him out of the cage while swinging the chair, and whoever tried to climb was not able to do that. And it's final shot. Nick Nemeth turns with his little brother, Ryan Nemeth, setting up Hardy's tag team match to close out. And the shock and all, Nick Nemeth, we thought that Ryan was going to turn on Nick, and that was going to be, oh, damn, in front of the heel. No, they both turned. That was shocking, Chris. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either. I loved it. I love it. Now Ryan Nemeth and Nick Nemeth get a real reason and a chance to fight for tag team gold. The Nemeth brothers versus the Hardy brothers. I like it because Nick Nemeth, when we saw him and Joe Hendry, me personally, there wasn't an exact clear baby face and heel. And
right.
Nick Nemeth is a whether how you guys feel about him or not, he's he has his resume. He has a really good resume. And he should be on that main event spot in TNA. I can't think of any real heels that are in that main event spot. Moose, what I'm saying? Like Joe Hendry is the ultimate babyface. Hardy is on top of the tag team division. They're the ultimate babyface. ABC, or like Ace Austin, the Rascals, they're all babyface. There's so many baby faces, and you don't have that main event heel in Nick Nemeth. This is good. I love it.
Not only that, Chris, Mance Warner just got into the company. He's not there in that rankings to be that heel yet. And he's got a couple more programs before he even gets there. Mustafa Ali, he was there before going on a hiatus.
Mustafa Ali's a really good heel. He's a really good heel.
But he went on a hiatus to put him back there. Not there yet. You got to build him up. Don't know if that's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see who's that. Like, that's what Nemeth turning heel makes sense going forward. Also for Joe Henry, they need someone to beat on him. That match was okay. It was pretty good. But the crowd didn't know where to go. Do they cheer? Everyone, of course, Joe Henry. Does he, you still had a couple people. Now they're not going to pull the trigger. He's always going to be a bridesmaid. They're not going to believe him until he beat Nemeth for the title. So now when they wrestle, if he wants to go back for that TNA world title, you got a definitive heel. Or the Hardys themselves. Everybody, the Hardys, you need a definitive tag team that you're going to hate. Ryan, everyone dislikes him. Now Nick being a heel, now you have a definitely, I can't stand both of them, what you did to the Hardys. So he got nuclear heat. I like it going forward because they could go either the tag team route with the Ryan brothers, or they could do both, or they could go singles with Nick. So, which is great. Now I have to ask the question.
Let's go.
Can we make it? Can we finally make it effing sense with JBL? It was Texas. Why wasn't JBL there?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good question. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Now we can make sense with JBL. Can we tie it in now? That's my answer going forward. After Nemeth turn heel with no JBL's presence, I got it. Yeah, that's my next. That's what I want to know, guys. That was my and Bono. This pay-per-view for Sacrifice of El Paso, Texas, kick ass. Yes. This kick ass. Let me ask you this. We normally don't do this. Which was your favorite wrestling show of the week? Sacrifice.
I've been waiting for this pay-per-view for a while. And even though some last-minute crap came up that I had to do some stuff, I was watching it with you on the playback on over there as much as I could. That pay-per-view was the energy in the arena was there. The shows, and obviously international crowd, whatever, but me personally, for this show specifically, the energy was there, sold out crowd, Mike Santana coming out in the low rider. You had all these matches that looked good on paper that executed in person. And if you watch TNA, everything made sense and everything's going to build up to lead. I mean, you had all your big stars. I mean, this was a lengthy pay-per-view, but this was okay because every single match was worth watching. You knew the backstory behind these matches. And it was a pay-per-view, TNA Plus. They're doing really good things over at TNA. It's probably my second favorite promotion. So yeah, I would say Sacrifice. Sacrifice was
all right. Not a bad one. Not a bad one there. Me personally, I really enjoyed was NXT Roadblock.
Yeah, that was really good
to me was
for me.
Because we thought they were going a direction and they went a different. They didn't really kind of swerve us 100%, but every one of those 4 out of the 5 matches, I kind of want to see a rematch again. All 4 out of the 5, because we explained it, the 5th one, because it was an end of a feud. I want to see more. And the way they did it on nationalized television, free, the one thing I am disappointed, the 753,000 rating that they had, that should have been an easier 900,000+ rating. I thought 1 million viewers. I'm really disappointed they didn't get the 1 million viewer or the 900,000, because that was a PLE event. If you know what, last week I invested $49.99 on Revolution. I wish I wouldn't. I wish I would have invested the $49.99 on Roadblock. If I had to pay, and I know the Roadblock was that good, it was $49.99 worthy. Even the Sacrifice was a hell of a premium event. Again, we got a couple matches that we want to see. Mustafa and Santana. We want to see Mance Warner and, of course, and Sami Callihan. I wouldn't want to see. Now I want to see Matt Hardy 1-on-1 against Ryan Nemeth, get his comeuppance. Moose, who's gonna, the Meta Girls taking on Ash by Elegance. So that pay-per-view, we want to see more. Now I want to see Thursday Impact Zone? What's the fallout of what happened from Sacrifice? The same thing with NXT Roadblock. I want to see what's the fallout, what's the mission statement, so forth, X, Y, and Z. That's what you want with a wrestling show. We want to see what sets up for the next one, so you could tune in. Must watch. I gotta watch all that. I want to give a little bit of honorable mention to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. We did the watch along on our playback. If you don't know about the playback, I want you to check out the playback where we watch and show you the wrestling event while we're watching along. You get to see it too while we're watching it. It's not just us staring at a computer, or you'll see my nice background or Chris's nice background of the tag team titles. No, you get to see the wrestling. We go in a little picture. You get to see it. You get to see the matches. You get to react, instant reaction. You get to get surprised like us. No one's ahead of no one. What we're watching is exactly at the moment. So whenever something exciting happens, we react in real time. 100%. So check us out at the playback. Be a member. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. It's just like YouTube and just like Rumba. It's just like Twitch. And right there, you see it scrolling underneath us there. Please be there. We did the watch along of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. We had the semifinals for the women's inaugural Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling women's title. That's going to be final on May 11th. All in all, the card was good. Seeing Billy Gunn teaming up with Bishop, which formerly known as Baron Corbin. Got in the tag team match with NWA World Champion Lattimore, and as well, and you saw QT Marshall up and down the card, and so forth. Good wrestlers I've never seen before from Noah and New Japan getting involved in the match, in different matches themselves. All in all, good night. Josh Alexander coming out, which was predictable. Going to be in next Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. He's still a free agent. Where did he sign? A lot of people say AEW. We'll see. He'll probably be a wild card entrance for the Owen Hart tournament. That's what Tony Khan does. Lazy booking, predictability. He's going to have a wild card entry for the tournament for Owen Hart. It'll be Josh Alexander. Book it. You heard it here. As that's what it's going to be. Nothing right home about with that. Tomorrow we got Monday Night Raw on the playback. Heel the Ring or on X. If you follow me on X at BS Jedi 76, you'll get to see the broadcast there as well at 3:00. We got matches advertised right now from Belgium. Of course, you're going to have Cody Rhodes and John Cena on the roof. I don't know if they're going to cross paths. They're going to interview. They're going to have a brouhaha battle. We're going to see heel Cena in Belgium. You're going to have Intercontinental title matchup. Braun Breaker taking on Finn Balor. Jey Uso is going to take on Austin Theory. Now, is that the night we're going to see Austin Theory lose and get mad with Grayson Waller in turn? We don't know. We'll have Dakota Kai taking on Ivy Nile. That's going to be a good one there. Number one contendership maybe for that women's Survivor's title. Although Dakota Kai had an opportunity, didn't come short. We'll find out. Penta taking on Ludwig Kaiser in a no-holds-barred match. Interesting. Because they're in Europe. Ludwig, Penta. Interesting there. Would he get attacked where he might need someone to watch his back for Penta? Could we see a Rey Fenix making the debut? International. We don't know. Only time will tell. So join us for that live coverage. We'll be kicking off at 3:00, la 3 de la tarde. Then, of course, NXT from the Performance Center. The rest of the Heel the Ring crew will be there. I wanted to take this moment before we go off the air real quick to wish speedy recoveries always. Always to one of our own from the Heel of the Ring. You know her as the Uncanny Canary. So, Miss Courtney, we want you to speedy recoveries. I know you're going through your speedy recoveries through your medical, of course. We're there to cheer you on. We're here to cheer you on. We're always here in your corner to get better recovery, to be better than ever, get over. And we're helping to get you over. And when you feel like you're down and things are rough, we're out here extending up for you could give us the hot tag. We may not carry the whole load, but we'll give us a hot tag so you can get a breather blow and know that you're not alone in this battle. So, Canary, we want to give our thoughts and prayers and our love for speedy recovery. And we can't wait to have you back on the Heel of the Ring to talk and just continue to laugh and give us your moments and your love that you have for the White Six and Braze and all that. Yeah, definitely. She's a great one. Speedy recovery, Canary, man. Wanted to give that heartfelt thank you. And you're not alone, Karen. So, Chris, this was a great week, man. A lot of wrestling.
All week, great week. I'm happy we did this today. Great week of wrestling. I know next week's a little slow. There's nothing going on Saturday, nothing really going on. But I'm excited for Monday Night Raw. So we'll have a slower week of wrestling. I'm excited. I'm thankful, and this is the last thing I'll say before I say goodnight to you all. I'm thankful for Netflix because, me and Kev have our our dislikes, commercials, not all this stuff, but when we pay a lot, they raise it. I do appreciate them streaming the event at 3 p.m. It might interfere with some people's schedules, and it might F up a lot of people's Monday night. Makes my Monday night a hell of a lot better because I don't have to. What's going on? I can actually join the freaking playback. So I will be there tomorrow afternoon. Rare Monday appearance by yours truly. But no, in all seriousness, because USA they can't, because they had their regular scheduled programming. With Netflix, they can stream it whenever they want. So I am thankful for Netflix for stuff like that, because Friday, and even though Fridays are really busy for me, hit or miss, it's one of those things where I saw all Fade Away, all those clowns that repost the stuff or watch it at, they have their Fire Sticks like you do, but they have time to watch it and they just post the clips, and I already seen the whole show through Twitter clips by the time by the time it goes on at 8:00, so I don't watch it. So shout out Netflix for streaming the event at 3:00 so we can react to it
in the US. Yeah.
The US while Belgium watches it in person. So it's like, yeah, I like it. Shout out Netflix for that. Even though you guys do gotta fix your shit, but shout out Netflix for that.
No, and I'm with you on that. Here's the one thing I'm appreciative that they did that. I did watch SmackDown before it aired at 8:00 because I was doing the double duties with the Sacrifice pay-per-view, but I was so tired I kind of fell asleep and not because it was boring, it was because I was tired. And I missed the second to third hour of SmackDown. I said I'm not going online because I want to be genuinely surprised. So I saw the first few and so forth, but the international, it's on Netflix. But in the US, since they're part of USA Network, SmackDown has to be aired at 8:00. Monday Night Raw won't because it's on Netflix. So I appreciate that. We're gonna get to see that there. So forth. I want to leave this though. It's not WWE. It's non AWWE, not wrestling related. It's wrestling related, but non-major company. It's with the House of Glory. I want to leave this out there. House of Glory had a show last night where Mercedes Moné was going to wrestle Indy Hartwell, and they have an announcer, a commentator who does the show. Who you know who he is. You see him talk a lot about All Elite Wrestling. WWE, the one and only JD from New York. Mercedes had him removed from commentary from the event. Now I don't know if that's a work or a shoot. Now I don't know if it was just for the Mercedes Moné match versus Indy Hartwell or was for the whole show. So that I would like to know. I have two opinions when it comes to that with JD from New York. For JD, if he was removed for the whole entire show because Mercedes was going to wrestle that card, I don't know if I could return to that House of Glory as a commentator worker. I don't know if it's a shoot or then I kind of feel slapped in the face because when she's not there, you're out there calling those matches, working your craft. And if she comes out for one appearance where she's not really the face of the company, it was a money grab just to get the New York card over, and she's not gonna maybe wrestle maybe one more time, and that's it. Or she belongs to All Elite Wrestling. She's that property. That's her home. That's kind of wrong at House of Glory. Way to getting your member of your team back. It's like, for instance, I got the Heel the Ring crew. I'm going to throw a name out. Tegan Knox wants to come and do play-by-play with me. I'm going to tell Chris, I can't have you Monday nights because Tegan is going to come in. Can you sit out? And I'm not saying you said nothing negative about Tegan Knox either, but just because I'm bumping you because Tegan Knox. And I know it's an upgrade, but you helped me build this channel or Chef Dan. I'm going to use Chef Dan even more. Chef Dan, Chef Dan, who's been day one with me, and he's with me shoulder to shoulder over the weekend doing the wrestling shows and all that. And Tegan Knox is going to come on. I say, Chef, I'm not going to have you on tonight. Take the night off. You're going through a lot of stuff, whatever the case is, or I'm going to have Tegan on to help me. That's not cool. And how am I gonna? And then when Tegan says, "All right, thank you," and then she don't come back to do the watch alongs, how am I gonna look Chef in the eye and have that same rapport, that same continuity because I bumped you for that one and I don't know. And if that's the case, I hope that was if it's his work and it's just him being removed for Mercedes matches, is only gonna make JD even more popular because what does that say about Mercedes getting JD out? Podcaster.
Off the script on Monday. He doesn't do off the script. Yeah, he's gonna do off the script tomorrow after Raw.
I don't know what's his gig. I don't know where he comes on live or not. But I just saw that circulating.
I'm not the biggest JD guy, but it is wrong. I personally didn't, before I started learning who JD was last year, I didn't even know he did stuff for House of Glory. I saw his Chris Van Fleet interview. He's been doing House of Glory stuff for a while. He's, when you reference Chef is kind of like that's such a good comparison because like Chef reminds me of JD, what he is to House of Glory, if that makes sense. Like JD really helped build House of Glory because he's the one going on his platform and talking about it and building it up. And obviously the promoter, the owner, they're doing their part, but JD's the one helping them on. I agree. Your comparison's so good because like if this is to just throw Mercedes isn't gonna follow the show, or she did it as a money grab. She probably did. Okay, who am I fighting? It depends who am I fighting. Indy Hartwell. Okay, I know her. We're friends. We train together. Let's do it. Like that's all it was. Maybe she hears the things like JD's really popular. Like he has over 100,000 subscribers.
He's popular. No, his show is popular.
Guys like me who can't stand him, I watch his show every week. I watch his show.
He's entertaining. He's very entertaining.
So they watch it. They watch it.
Oh, wait a minute. I got a power chat here. $100 power chat. Holy shit. Oh, wait a minute. I got a power chat from the Salad Monster. The Salad Monster gave me $100 super chat. Holy shit. Oh.
Oh my God. Shout out JD from New York. You got to be loyal. I think loyalty in this space it's a big part. Especially when you have big platforms like JD. But again, in the same sense, it's like he says some pretty crazy shit about some of these wrestlers, and Mercedes is one of the wrestlers that he says some crazy shit about. So maybe she just doesn't want. Maybe she's like, okay, he's not gonna. He's already gonna talk about me enough on his show. Why does he have to comment on my match? I don't know. I see both sides.
If you have thick skin as a wrestler, and I understand there's a line, he might have crossed the line. I don't know what he said or how's he gotten under their skin. Again, I've listened to him lately, entertaining. I never really had interaction with him on X. For some reason, I'm blocked. I never said anything negative to him. I'm blocked. He's one of those. He's another one who likes to throw rocks in glass houses because he gets if you go against him. I hear him on his show when he said it. If you say something against him, he blocks you, so you can't take criticism. So again, it's probably a work. It has to be a work because if he gets offended for her removing him, just think about some of the people in your chat or wants to follow you and you block them. So it's weird when it comes to him. He does what he wants. It's his show. It's his prerogative. What he does with him. But when it comes to the House of Glory, if that's something that if it's a shoot, damn, how do you look at him in the eye and say, have a seat, call our matches when she's not on the card or she doesn't even wrestle there? That's kind of you have to take care of your people in house that been with you in the trenches, not just for the not for the new shiny thing that's going by. That's not going to be really part to help you build. It's just for a momentarily. I mean, hopefully that for JD, hopefully that's hopefully he addresses it that it was a shoot or work or shoot whatever it is for him. But I had a opinionate on that. because he is over as a podcaster. You know, I get up at work at 3:30 in the morning. On this Monday when I got up, he was still just wrapping up off the script reviewing Revolution with his partner. So they stood up and he said it was a terrible pay-per-view, and he was still on the air at 3 o'clock in the morning talking about the pay-per-view. So I got to give him respect.
At midnight, but still.
But I got to give him respect to stay that late up to talk about it. And people, 3,500 people watching it live at that time in the morning. I mean, you got to give him credit for him, you know, and what he does, because we all do lives, and we would like to have 50, you know, 5,000, 3,000, 2,000 and a chat that just back and forth talks. Although, you know, he gets offended when people say something in his chats because he blocks and gets them out of there. But it is what it is. I just wanted to bring that light up there for him. Wonder what happens. So this week in wrestling, man. We're gonna have a nice week here of wrestling at all different times of the hour for the next month. You know, Barcelona, you got Belgium, you've got Bologna, you got Cardiff coming up. So there's gonna be so many different shows at all different type of the hours with wrestling at the hour today. March, it's literally it's gonna be March Madness, not just for basketball, but for professional wrestling. The road to WrestleMania.
An hour they do the selection show. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. I need to watch that in case Ohio State does make it.
There you go. There we go. That is the Heel of the Ring podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all our different platforms. This will be on audio immediately following this here. We'll be on. If you missed it, you could hear us, take us with you on podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all different, wherever you get your audio, plus Spreaker, iHeart, Amazon, everywhere you get your audio platform. It's just Sports Jedi Network. Follow us on the playback. Luther, I haven't seen you follow us on playback there, where you can watch the wrestling event. We definitely need to continue to grow that platform. I need you guys there, as well as Isaac Delgado. We miss seeing you there. Katie on the YouTube channel. We miss seeing you. Follow us there. Tony, later. Talk to you later. The Netherlands for SmackDown. SmackDown is in Bologna next. Bologna, Italy. Bologna, then probably after that. But guys, you have the rest of your Sunday afternoon. You guys were awesome. You guys were great. You guys were wonderful. Again, I always tell you guys, may the sports be with you. And this is the Heel of the Ring podcast. See you later. Peace out.